You want to come sit closer again? Okay, we are hopefully live again. We can update this game watermark. I'm sorry so much for dropping the stream there, guys. Is that the one that we're looking for? Yes, it is. So obviously at the end of that game, we kind of just missed EXdee winning. Correct. Beetle, you were there. Penguin, you were there.
I was there.
You're playing with a fidget spinner in your face, so I'm not sure if you were watching the game.
No, there was definitely there was a lot of team fights near the end, and just the insane lead that EXdee had in terms of gold and net worth across all their players. I mean, DCA were forced to actually do their buybacks with all their heroes, but eventually, you know, EXdee just being so far ahead kind of just ran away with the game, and as soon as some of their barracks ended up going, it was eventually just GG from that point onwards.
Okay, kind of what's expected to the end there. It was, I mean, when we did drop, it looked like EXdee was making the assault towards DC's base. I know you said it was always too early to call, but they were kind of setting up for it. In that time that we were obviously out, we missed that going down. Beetle, are we gonna just go over to a little overlay whilst you wait for the next game to come up?
Yeah, I just had a couple of questions maybe that we can go through just about the game in general. Some noob questions. The first one I had was EXdee had a lot of observer wards on the map, about 25 minutes, but they were only using observer wards and no sentry wards. Why do you pick one over the other in certain circumstances like that?
Okay, so observers give you a much larger vision, whereas sentries give you absolutely nothing without an observer ward. So unless you have vision there, a sentry, which is the one that shows you invisible things, gives you nothing at all.
You have to combine the two if you want both an observer as well as the ability to see any invisible units around it.
Yeah. And there was no heroes. There's no naturally invisible hero on DC either. So
if you're playing up against the bounty hunter the other way around, then maybe coupling them up with a couple of sentries as well would have been needed, but without it, not really needed.
Yeah, so I mean, in that particular game, DC would be the ones that would be running a lot more sentry wards because they would be trying to scout out the bounty hunter.
Correct.
I mean, and so while we're on the subject of vision as well, that ACG bounty hunter giving a lot of vision to EXdee Esports. What is the value of having, a hero that is able to effectively be almost a roaming
ward
observer?
I think it's sort of highly valuable. You've not only got the sort of dynamic ability to just be able to just scout anyone out anywhere around, but bounty hunter has that ability to also give that gold incentive when killing heroes as well. So not only does the ward essentially be able to, or is it able to move around, but also just earn you massive amounts of money when you capitalize on a lone hero.
Yeah, I mean, it tells you where you can play and where you can't. But that's insane value. I mean, he died a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
it's giving you like
in terms of setting up fights and
yeah.
Yeah, initiation's a huge important point, right? And I mean, you saw every single fight where DC and Ian, when a fight broke out, Ian were able to split the fight, pick off the OD, because they always knew where he was. He was always either the first one to get initiated on, or they would just split the fight, kill the OD, and then the rest of DC would just crumble. Right?
And something that I don't think we've touched on yet, and at the end of that game, I mean, we didn't see it on the stream, but what happened was, I mean, EXdee pushed into the base. The DC team was taken down, and then the DC team started buying back. And I don't think we've touched on what buybacks are and how you would use them effectively towards the end of a game like that.
Yeah, so whenever you die in Dota, you basically go on a cooldown timer, which gets longer the higher level you are. A buyback is essentially you bribing the gods to allow you to come back instantaneously. So once you've done that, the buyback itself goes on a massive cooldown. I think it's 7 minutes at the moment. And then you gain another punishment in that you cannot gain any gold or one type of gold. I'm not going to go into how difficult that is, but you don't gain any like there's one type of gold that you don't gain while you're back for a certain amount of time, and then your next death is longer as well. So that's what a buyback is. Like I said, you can only do it once every 7 minutes, and there's massive punishment for doing it. So it's only like a desperation usage to either win a fight outright or like a last-ditch defense.
So, I mean, in that sort of case, it costs you money, so you need to make sure that you've got enough money available to you towards the end of the game where you are on the back foot, so that if it does happen that you get team wiped, sort of gives you a second chance at defense. I mean, so coming back to the game and sort of how it went, what did Energy do well in that game? What gave them the edge that allowed them to come out on top against DC?
Well, I think they had sort of just the blasting power from their Timbersaw just leading the sort of charge. There was no real contest for him other than DC needing full lineup of people to bring him down. If that all focused around that, if they couldn't do it, the turnaround game from Energy was super strong. They could turn back on pretty much any of those engagements that failed out and capitalize on it, sort of taking objectives as they went along the way. So I think that the Timbersaw pickup was really strong for Energy, in my opinion. I think that there was very little that DC could sort of do individually against the way that they sort of.
Yeah, I mean, all I would add to that is that I think again, Energy just knew what heroes to attack. You saw them in the early game just focusing down the Outworld Devourer, but that's because OD is the only real the only real hero that could actually deal with the Timbersaw.
Yeah, because of his armor penetrating ability. But like you said, early on in the game, very well known as a glass cannon, and kind of that's the way it felt like the game went. The OD didn't really have the massive impact that I think he needed to have, and it was sort of, yeah, it was also it was a last pick OD as well to kind of deal with that Timbersaw pickup, I feel.
If you were the DC coach right now, what would be your like locker room post game advice to DC? What can they look back on that game and take out as a lesson?
I can't really say anything because they played way better Dota than I could ever imagine. Prophecy, this is all on you, yo.
Like I just think like they need to have, like, they can fix the drafting. I think the drafting was a bit weak at times. Obviously you can't really account for the Broodmother pick in game one, and I think that their pick there with Bristleback was a good way to deal with it, but it's more about recognizing what they need to do at every stage. Like, you could see Energy knew in the early stages, we can leave the Bristleback to farm the lane because we know that if we attack his secondary backup in the Marana, we can get away with that. In game two, you saw the same thing happen. It didn't matter that ACG was dying a lot in the bot lane or was pressure, because they didn't need him to get ahead. They knew that the only way that they could be stopped was for the Outworld Devourer to get it.
I also just wanted to add on that Bunny's Earthshaker.
Oh, Earthshaker.
Earthshaker from Energy side was also super strong. There was one kind of weird fissure that I think was just lag side, but other than that, just everything on point. Great positioning, opening up for Energy. Very difficult for DC to deal with that kind of sort of aggression. It was sort of at moments that you wouldn't expect him to be jumping in, that he was sacrificing ultis, guns off, just to get positioning right for the very, very structured play, I'd say, and Doom Bunny really did sort of catch DC off guard a lot of the time.
Like I said, I mean, to round up, I think the best advice for DC is just they need to be more aware of what's happening in the game. Awareness, what they need to do at any one point in time, I think is really what they need.
Basically like our camera work.
Basically, but on a much better level.
Yeah.
MVP for the game, I think we can all agree, probably the Timbersaw.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Timber, and I really liked Doom Bunny's. But we'll go with Timbersaw. Whatever.
Thanks very much, Prophecy and Gmax, for casting that game. Thanks, Penguin ZA, for your roundup of the hats. Thanks, Sargon, for your infrequent, way too infrequent. We want to see way more stats in the next matchup. We'll be back at 6 p.m. with EXdee versus Goon Squad. So stick around. We'll see you back then with more noob-friendly, more noob-ish casting in about half an hour's time.
I think that was a fair summary. Enjoy. Yeah, we're gonna just go to a little pause with some uns beats.
Some EDM.
Yeah.
Classic copyright EDM. We'll see you in about half an hour.
The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. On we'll go, finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest, echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon. Day has passed like a hurricane to my heart, to it far away. See the lights on the other side. I'm going to get there and hope we will meet there. Day has passed like a hurricane to my heart, to it far away. See the lights on the other side. I'm going to get there and hope we will meet there.
Sound waves reaching the microphone are changed into impulses of electric current.
No need to worry about your pre-recorded music tapes being accidentally erased. It can't happen.
There we go, there we go. I lost the music control, and then we got the Skype chat open. Is everything fixed now? Are you guys there? Can you hear us?
Hello.
Penguin's there. Beetle doesn't want to talk to us.
Sargon's just quiet.
Sargon, as always, very quiet.
Tottenham scored in the last minute of extra time.
No, we're not talking about soccer now. This is Dota 2. I don't know. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
No.
Hello?
No. This is not FIFA 18. Dota 2.
It's not eFootball.
eFootball. It's not eFootball.
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 What is up, everybody? We are back.
Indeed.
Why does everyone seem
We
so
are
dead?
back
Why are
with
you guys all dead? Like, you're excited before, now you're not excited.
Penguin does have a big smile.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen, with the Mega8 Noob stream for the Dota 2 Pro 16 League. If you're new here, if you didn't watch the last game, this stream is designed specifically for new Dota 2 players or those who are new to Dota 2. So if you're looking for something more serious, more grown up than Gmax, which isn't very difficult, then head on over to the stream 1, which you'll find by searching Mega8.
What? Did you just call me not grown up? I don't know what
Whatever.
I'm so not grown up that I didn't even understand the joke anymore. I'm out.
Helbert Snare will be bringing you Aperture Gaming versus Goliath Gaming on Channel 1, so head on over there if you're interested in that one. We have EXdee versus Goon Squad, which is a best of 3 coming up shortly. We're just waiting for the last player to join the lobby, and we will go live. Lobby, that's what it's called. Yeah. I'm noob. I don't know what these things are. If you missed the last one, just a quick introduction to the people who you can see on your screen. First up, our official hat consultant. Give them a wave. Penguin ZA. He's here to just give his opinions of what the creatures look like, right?
Yeah, we're talking about
in-game
in-game item skins, because not these kind of hats.
Definitely not those kind of hats.
Yeah, don't talk about flat peak caps around Beetle or Prophecy, or probably Penguin as well. Like, it's just a dangerous zone for my caps. Like, there's a collection behind me. Prophecy keeps looking at them, wanting to bend them. It's very tough times for Gmax, but it's all good.
Our casters, Gmax, play-by-play, and Prophecy, our analysts, who are in one little window down, struggling up nice and close to each other. They will be bringing you all the action in the actual game itself. Cameraless, but not voiceless. Sargon ZA, our stats man. I think we need to encourage you to give us a few more pop-ups because we really enjoy them. So in the next game, I want a pop-up every 3 minutes.
We want lots of pop-ups all the time.
What outrageousness is this? Gmax doesn't even look at my pop-ups.
I didn't even see your pop-ups.
I can't see them.
So if I didn't see them, then they obviously weren't there. Enough.
Because that's how that works.
Can I be honest? I have a massive microphone arm going across my screen, so it's like, it's super. This is interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting.
Our camera work, we're working.
Our team's all ready to kick off.
We're working on our camera work. That's like our short-term goals.
We will stop talking
Nonsense.
basic rubbish just to fill the air. Yeah, and do what we're here to do, and that's bring you some Dota 2. So we are live into the ban phase. Pick ban phase. What's this whole thing called? There's like a collection. The draft. It's called the draft.
The drafting phase.
Creature draft.
Not the creature draft.
No.
Well, in our noob stream, it's called the creature draft. We'll just keep it at that.
Yeah. So what kind of picks and bans are we going to be expecting here?
Yeah, let's switch over to our in-game screen here. Okay, so we're talking picks and bans, Prof. So are we gonna see a Meepo on EXdee? Are we gonna see a Meepo?
They are the only team likely to do it. They're also the only team likely to tell you they're going to do it and then do it anyway.
And then okay.
So
is it Hunter that plays the Meepo?
Yeah, usually.
Okay, Hunter Meepo.
Then he tends to feed on it.
So.
he has a 100% loss rate in all competitive matches in South Africa on Meepo.
Really?
100% loss rate. That's amazing.
100% loss rate.
And it's his signature hero, so.
That is an interesting piece of
That's true.
there. Wow.
Well, we're going to get to our first pick. It is in fact going to be the South African special. That is the Lich.
That's because it wasn't banned out. So
yeah,
if it's not banned, then pick Lich, right?
Pretty much.
That's what I've learned so far from casting Dota today.
I don't know if it's a strong hero currently, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily
Lich and
That
Necro,
correct?
both heroes banned out earlier on.
And Jakiro.
Oh.
Wow, EXdee's been watching a lot of PGL Miner this weekend.
Oh, is it? Is that the meta?
That
That
Necro
is,
Yeah.
those
Jakiro?
are like
That's-
super popular heroes.
That's standard PGL minor pickups. Yeah.
Necro Jakiro. It almost feels like I'm watching an EG draft here.
To be pretty honest, though, I mean, I don't think any team should be letting Necro through the first phase of bans. You know, those first 2 bans are critical. Why Monkey King? You know, yes, he's useful, but he's not as strong as Necro right now.
Maybe they just don't know how to deal with him, I guess. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Possibly.
I mean, he's strong, but yeah, I don't agree that he's first phase. And like Nature's Prophet as well, that's shaky ground. It almost feels like Generation or like the Goons are not 100%. Is this the Goon Squad or the Goon Swarm?
Goon
The
Squad.
Goon Squad. Generation X, the Goon
Disappointing.
Squad.
Just to provide some perspective on at least the Goon Squad, they played obviously in the open qualifiers to get here, and they won 3 of their 5 matches. They only lost 1. One game they won was a forfeit, and they lost to AlphaStar Gaming, and then they beat Fallout Fear and Spartan Esports to get here. So yeah, they didn't need to use all 5 of the qualifying games. They actually only used 4, so they were looking quite strong.
Yeah, good. I mean, EXdee is a pretty solid team though. So gonna have to, I think, step it up a bit.
Well, TKC up mid is probably one of the
Rising.
stronger mids.
Yeah, he's a rising star in South Africa.
Yeah. That will be interesting to see what they pick up for him. Do you know any of his signature heroes that they like to run on him?
I think his Invoker's pretty good the last time I checked.
Okay.
But I mean, it's
His
not really
Puck as
Invoker
well?
meta at the moment.
Brains, maybe you can tell us why some heroes are better suited for different lanes. For example, when you talk about a mid hero, what are we talking about? Or an off lane hero? Like, why would I want to play one in a specific lane over another?
Okay, so basically the lanes, you get 3 lanes: top lane, mid lane, bot lane. For each side, it's slightly different. So for the Dire side, the top
red
lane,
team.
yeah, the red team, the top lane is what they call the safe lane, and the bot lane is what they call the off lane. Now, off lane, safe lane, generally what's happened is that over time, Dota has basically developed into putting your carry, which is the guy that you want to get the most farm on your team,
In the safe
in
lane.
the safe lane, because it's the lane that he can get the most protection in.
Theoretically, it's the least you've got.
The least dangerous.
You've got
yeah.
the cover from the trees in both sides, and probably the most vision, and
Yeah.
it's more risky for the other team to gang you down
and
there.
the creeps are closer to your tower than to
Correct.
so that's why they call it the safe lane. The off lane is basically where you send. Usually, it's the off laner is a guy that's not going to be getting a lot of experience, not going to be getting a lot of gold in general, because he's very often left to his own devices and has to play against multiple opponents.
Talking
in
about
that
the off lane, Doombringer, quite a good off lane hero.
Yeah, he's going to find more farm than the traditional off laner.
Okay, so this could be a mid lane, an off lane Doom, but you know it could. Do people still do like the jungle thing?
Jungle has actually fallen off at the top
Okay.
level recently, mostly because
The
it's
creep
not
spawn
very
times,
it's not
or-
very efficient in
Okay,
general. Like
okay.
you can't transition out there. Like even heroes traditional to the jungle, Chain and Enchantress. I'm not going to explain much about them, but those are heroes that
Traditionally, were played a lot more.
only in the jungle. Like,
Yeah.
and these days, basically, they grab a creep in the jungle because they can convert a neutral to this and then use its abilities to help. the
Okay,
team.
so it's more about picking up a variety of sort of hero or little neutral creeps to
Yeah.
use their abilities, as opposed to using them to then farm more
Yeah.
neutrals within that. So that meta's kind of fallen away, I guess.
Yeah, this meta is very much based around lots of fights as possible. type
Okay,
thing.
so team-based sort of
Yeah,
strats.
so farming, especially in the jungle, like doesn't allow you to really get involved very very early. And
Okay.
So anybody that was having that debate with me earlier, Jakiro, you can clearly see has 4 legs.
Oh no, the dragon.
That's a dragon.
The dragon talk is coming back in. Goon Squad using a lot of time there to finally pick up a Sand King. I've seen Sand King quite popular at the moment.
He's not that popular at the top level,
But I mean, in South
yeah.
African Dota, I'm talking about at the moment.
He
Sand King
provides a lot
seems to-
that South Africans in general enjoy. Like he's got a very strong stun. Ulti is obviously well known.
can
basically
use the
just does 10
sandstorm as
damage.
well to just kind of sort of
Yeah, the
farm away at
do-do-do-do.
creeps as well. Yeah, and then
Do-do-do.
his poison.
Fudge.
Ah, classic
Yes,
EXdee.
that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Dota 2 signature hero.
That's
Okay,
what
so
we want.
the
Yeah.
excitement about Pudge is generally around his sort of placement, his ability, the meat hook. From what he's most famous for, he can hook heroes towards him. So that's why I'm excited for Pudge. Anything else that Pudge sort of stands out for you?
Well, I mean, he's incredibly difficult to play against because he's so rare at the top level. Like he's basically everywhere in pubs, but at the top level he's very, very rare because of the amount of skill that it needs.
So it's got it's quite a high skill gap hero, and he's one of those heroes that also just gets kind of stronger as the game goes on. If he's around a lot of kills with his strength gain.
In general, he's these days played as more of a support, not much of a as a core.
Okay.
Because of the fact that he needs to constantly be fighting and constantly getting kills, and that doesn't really
does
work
his aura
as much.
does his aura not work if he gets a kill in the AoE?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
Like,
just
he has to be
he has to
involved in the
be
kill.
okay.
And the problem is, like, in order for him to keep scaling, because very often, like, what mid laners and particularly safe laners are all about is making certain that they become very, very powerful over time. So, like, they get more out of damage items than others do. And Pudge is very, very slow building.
Okay.
So you need to have crazy amounts of involvement for him to reach the same level as, say, a Mirana or a Necrophos in this.
Okay, no,
So it's just not worth investing the amount of time and effort to get him to that point, because you've either won by then or he's not going to be someone else.
Okay, so he's more sort of a mobility support hero used to pick heroes out of their positions with his hook and capitalize on it. So right now you've got the support coming out from Pudge in the Jakiro. Necro, what position is he gonna?
Being played in mid.
Okay.
Doom, I would
So
assume.
is Necro gonna be a TKC Necro?
I think it should be.
Okay, and then a Mirana pickup for Goon Squad. One of those heroes that still just gives you a lot of mobility around, even just good placement with your ulti.
And she'll gain bonus from Luna. She'll generally does well in all sorts.
Correct. So Luna's passive ability gives is it ranged heroes or is it all
ranged
heroes? Okay, ranged heroes get a damage boost.
All that.
Sargon, do you know the percentage?
It's not a percent.
That
I think
bonus.
it's 40. Well, I can't remember.
Sargon will tell us. Sargon will not tell us.
Clearly. Sniper comes through. So EXdee feels like I'm watching a pub. Sniper will almost certainly be the safe laner in this situation. Necrophos should be the mid laner, but Sniper can also go to the lane. Depends on what matchup they want.
Dude, a Rockley Pudge. I'm a little bit fanboyish.
A Rockley Pirate Pudge.
A Rockley Pirate Pudge.
Yeah, there's some serious hat game in this line.
Look at this. Look at this. Haki.
Exactly.
Let's let Penguin just go ham here for a second. I mean, the draft talked about. Let's go
first
hats.
of all, I must say that the Lich is looking really fabulous there.
Look at that coat.
With that coat.
That is a fabulous coat. Yeah.
It's a really fabulous coat. Then you've got the Sand King, who's also looking pretty badass. But honestly, I think the Lich takes it. I mean, even the Pirate Pudge looks really awesome, and I'm also a big fan of Pudge. But
He's got a.
Lich
Does he have a boa constrictor around his neck, or is that some seaweed?
That's tentacle.
Is it a tentacle?
Yeah, it's a tentacle. Yeah.
Clearly, he's got some
Yeah,
Japanese.
Look, I mean,
influence.
Okay. I don't know where the
I think
tentacle
Penguin,
goes.
I think you're discounting this Nyx assassin a bit. That's a
Looks like a flower.
fantastic Nexus. Yeah.
Looks like a flower.
It does look like a little bit of a flower,
Yeah,
like a flower lion.
It does look like a flower.
Flower
Like a
lion.
Venus flytrap
So-
kind of thing.
And
Yeah,
look at
just
that
obviously like
Mirana.
being just
He's
more
running.
red, so-
Is that an owl lion?
Yeah, I think it's actually called an owl lion in game.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's called an owl lion.
Well,
I kid you
that was-
not. We'll check. We'll check
that
for you when we go.
was creative. The owl lion. Got a flower lion on Nyx and an owl lion on Mirana.
Yep. Pause to start the
Don't
game.
say what you want to say.
I'm not going to say anything.
Don't say it.
It is called.
What were you gonna say? Because about
the owl
pauses.
It is called an owl lion. Okay, so we are about to kick off our second batch of games. This is Goon Squad versus EXdee. Earlier on we had Energy versus Damage Control. Of course, Energy took that victory. Beetle, Do you have anything else you want to add on towards this before you hand over to the hooligans that are, well, just me actually?
I don't have anything else to say, but I am apprehensive about handing it over completely to you. So I'm going to stay here and just censor you a little bit.
Okay.
And just put you right when you go off track. But this is the Mega8 Dota 2 Pro 16 League. This is the second series of today. EXdee versus.
Sorry.
EXdee versus Good Squad. It is a best of 3. This is game 1. Currently 0-0. Earlier we saw Damage Control lose to Energy 2-0. Good luck, Prophecy. Good luck, new Dota 2 cast of G Max.
Thank you. I don't need luck. I've got the guidance of a very, very strong professional Dota 2 caster.
I wouldn't say professional.
I'm calling you professional.
I think he wasn't. I thought he was talking about me.
I think
nobody's talking about you, Penguin. I mean, Beetle.
Oh, do you hear that? He quickly changed it from Penguin to Beetle just so he can insult both of you at the same time.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Penguin's just
double shade.
Penguin's just like watching for the hats.
Yeah, but I am being educated as well. I'm reading all of Sargon's little Q-tip things that are popping up on the side as well. And there's some interesting things. He threw a bit of shade.
Show me where they pop up. When they pop up?
Mine are here on the top or mid right. There we go. The Necromancer.
Necrophos is the 3rd most picked hero in the 5k plus MMR bracket.
That's the most powerful hero in the pool though, so that's cheating.
55% win rate?
That thing is filthy.
That's
it is filthy in pubs at the moment.
That seems like the most. Oh, look at this! A cheeky little smoke gang coming out.
Well, let's get into the game quickly. We are going to have Phoenix. He's going to be picked up. Well, he's grabbing the Luna. Game Reaper will be running around on the Nyx Assassin. Blue Monkey running the Mirana this game. We then have Luminous on the Lich. Finally, we will be rounding off with Majoke on Sand King. For the side of EXdee, we have Hunter on the Necrophos, looking to be going to the safe lane. Rockley picking up the Pudge. Those sweet hats. TKC running the Sniper this game. Fury will grab himself the Jakiro. That'll be a support, obviously. Finally, rounding off the team for EXdee will be Cloud on the Doom.
Yeah, I'm super excited for things to kick off. 36 seconds on that countdown timer for things to kick off. As we know in Dota, however, the action often starts before that first creep horde even spawns.
I mean, this time it looks like it's going to be a little bit more passive than the games that we saw earlier today with Energy and DC.
Okay.
Those games started with early kills on the side of DC. This game, they're just going to drop down the traditional wards. As you can see, the ward for the offlaner over here just to protect him from any ambushes from the side of EXdee. You can see there's EXdee's version of that ward, and finally we just have the ward protecting the mid laner from any potential ambush. He's just going to grab the rune spawn, so runes spawn spots on each side of the map as well as in the river. And it's basically just a little bit of free gold and experience to start the map off, usually given to the carry or the mid laner. Likely both.
Yeah, and just kicking things off, we've got Blue Monkey on that Mirana. He's going to be facing off up against mid. We've got TKC on that Sniper, like you mentioned before. Fury going to play that support Jakiro role, just trying to isolate Blue Monkey a little bit here, force him out from that XP range, and just allow the Sniper in that mid position to get a little bit more farm, basically buy some time and try and get a little bit of an advantage up. And that's why you'd have these two out towards that middle place. Jakiro going to hang around for a little while. Not sure if he's going to remain here for the duration of the early game, but that fire and the harass is definitely going to take Blue Monkey down, going to make him use up all of his tangos, and essentially cost him the early advantage of money.
Basically what he's doing is he's just annoying Blue Monkey and forcing Blue Monkey to save any sort of healing that he has, or start using any sort of healing that he has, any sort of like regeneration of either health or mana. It's really just designed to annoy him out of the lane, so that if TKC does ever try and jump him, or actually gets aggressive on the Mirana cannot trade as efficiently. Because basically what happens is when you're trading damage, you're both just attacking each other, and if you have less HP than I do, I end up winning, and that's basically what they're trying to do with the Jakiro hanging around.
Yeah, right now you can just see Sniper 10 last hits against the 5 on Mirana, so that space being created by Jakiro just working out for EXdee at this sort of stage of the game. They are just trying to do their best. Of course, Cloud up against the the duo lane up top. It is quite a difficult lane a little bit later on with Nyx and Luna, especially with Nyx going invisible and allowing you to just land a couple of critical strikes as well as some stuns, and then Luna just coming in to follow up and get that damage down.
Yeah, so, I mean, while you'll see Fury moving between the lanes, especially like he started in the mid lane and is now moving up to the top, Jakiro is a traditionally support hero that has some very, very powerful abilities. It's also a very difficult hero to actually fight in the early stages of the game. It starts with a very high amount of health and a decent amount of armor in the early stages. So he can trade very, very effectively with carries which tend to be a little bit weaker. And because he's so tanky, he can basically assist any lane, just runs in, throws out the liquid fire, slows your attack speed, and does damage to you over time for no cost to himself. So he becomes a real pain if you can just hang around in the area and constantly just do a little bit of damage to your hero and any allies you have around.
Yeah, right now it's just kind of a game of early on farm. There's not too much team gang rotations happening. There's pretty much everyone just trying to get a footing in this game, get themselves that early game advantage, get some kills under the board. Look at Rockley, he's just hanging out in the trees on the right side, looking to maybe set up a hook towards one of these heroes here. Hunter playing pretty aggressively with the Necro, trying to get some of the damage done. Soul thing called again. Death Pulse.
Yep,
Okay.
but he's also got the Heartstopper Aura. The Heartstopper Aura, the longer you're in the area, the more damage you take. Over time, it's basically just a debuff that reduces your health.
We've got some lag.
Yep.
Okay, we've got lag everywhere around.
Alright, we thought that was just us, but apparently South African service having a aneurysm. It seems.
Yeah, I don't like it when you say stuff about this, but we've got Pudge in pubs. Pudge is the most picked hero in Dota 2 pubs across all patches. The hero has been picked 527 million times. I'm not going to read the whole number. That's mad. 527 million times?
I think the second highest is, I can remember correctly, there was one hero that was catching up. I think it might be Invoker, it might be.
Okay, we're back. That was a short little intermission. Hunter's in trouble here. He's going to get caught down. The hook going to pull the tanking back, giving enough space across now. Rockley using that rot to just slow and damage that Sand down. And managing to just save the life of the Necro, I think, in that situation. Do a little bit of damage.
Yeah, Necro is often a hero fairly deceptive for how tanky he is. Like, he doesn't look very, very strong. But the Death Pulse heals him as well as doing damage to you. So it's a massive swap in HP. Gains a lot of HP while he does damage to you as well. And every time he kills something, he also does gain a buff. You'll grab that once he does get the Ghost Shroud. So, yeah, there you can see Death Pulse passively provides regen for 7 seconds for each hero, for any that it kills. So
essentially,
as
he gets that spam ability up and more mana pool and stuff, he can just sit there killing creeps, getting health back.
Yeah, he's basically like he's a tank that also does like mass degen to the opponents. As a hook comes through, he's actually going to catch up Majoke. Just going to stun him.
Yeah, he's going to use his ability. It's not just used to stun up heroes. You can also use it to just maneuver yourself. And in that case, just get back towards the top river, head towards the shrine, which is only active next couple of minutes, I think. What is the cool? When
shrines,
does it?
I think started.
Okay, there we go. Just started at, did it start at 3 or
I think
was
it starts.
4?
It's like 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay. We're not 100% sure. Sargon. All-time picked runner-up are Phantom Assassin second at 411 million picks and Sniper third at 305 million. Invoker was there at fourth, being picked up 378 million times. So interesting little batch of heroes. Of all of those, I only played none of them.
Probably a good thing.
Okay.
Those are all terrible.
As I said before, there we go. Sand King just sitting in the neutral creeps. He's just using that sandstorm to what do you call it? The Darude sandstorm?
It's Darude.
He's in the club farming up some money. Completely the opposite of what happens in the club.
I still think that is a missed opportunity by Valve there. Every time he starts the sandstorm with this.
Don't worry, there'll be a music pack or an immortal released at one of the internationals that you have to spend some money on, and you'll unlock Darude Sandstorm. They probably have to just buy the royalties still.
Probably.
Trying to save up for those.
I mean, I think they could get the royalties off of one guy for that.
Right now, it looks like EXdee just dominating the last hits chart with Sniper up in the first position, 53 last hits, followed up by Doom at 29. Doom doing phenomenally well here.
It's getting a lot of assistance though, and they've actually abandoned the nurse. So yeah, I mean, doing a ton of work, and because of the fact that he can actually farm very quickly, this might be a real problem, as we do in fact miss the first blood.
I can't believe we missed the first blood. We just had a conversation about getting our camera work better, Prof.
Yeah, well,
are we going to get the second one though? TKC going to use his shrapnel to just slow down the Mirana, going to dive behind the tower. He's got the creeps with him, so a double kill for TKC as Nyx Assassin trying to come for the rotation in. Does drop down just a cheeky little invis ward, but that sniper damage early on going hard. We've missed another kill. Prof Hunter has actually killed down the SK in that bottom lane, and in a quick couple of seconds 3 kills go the way of EXdee.
Yep, that is a big worry for the guys from Goon Squad, because that is a pretty quick change around. You can see it went from a 1k lead to now a 3,000 gold advantage, and Phoenix is not actually getting any real farm up top here, getting outlaned by Doom, who shouldn't be situation. They've already lost the tower in mid lane as well, so this is very,
so
very
TKC pushing out that mid tower quickly. I mean, 7 minutes in, mid tower down, 65 last hits to your name as Sniper. Well on your way to making up the items that you need. Yeah, there's a big fight going down here, but there is stun coming down. They are trying to focus down on the Sand King. He's going to drop. Doom was on him, and now Fury in a little bit of trouble. Nicely played with the ice path as the shrapnel from TKC just finishes him off. Sniper joins another here, as Luna would be an ideal kill for them to pick up. Does look like Doom is hunting. They do have the ulti. It's going to go down, and very nicely played from Cloud to just use that.
Yeah, fantastic.
What ability did he steal that from?
He stole that from, it's a Satyr Hellcaller.
Okay.
So, okay, basically what Doom does, he has... Right, so Devour, Doom can run into the jungle. He can pick, like say for instance, this creep. He eats that creep, and then he gains its abilities and gains a bit of extra gold once it dies inside his stomach. This time he's chosen big brother of that creep over there. He's gotten himself an aura that gives him 6 HP regen as well as shockwave.
So he's quite a cool hero. He picks up a creep, consumes him, and gets some of the abilities from within him. So
no, he's a very strong hero. Looks like we have some fights going down in the mid lane where Rock Lee is under
a little bit of trouble. There's three enemy hero. Big hit coming in is going to find that Lich, and they're going to manage to secure that kill. So nicely turned around versus 3 to pick one out. The support coming in from the Sniper, well as from Fury right at the end on the Jakiro, just locking things down.
Yeah, fantastic play there as lose control of the controls every now and then. But yeah, so fantastic turnaround. Support Pudge there basically just pushing Goon Squad off of the tower, and then they're turning around and getting kill. Majoke looks to be...
He's in a little bit of trouble here, it looks like.
EXdee,
big hook coming out, Rock Lee gets another, and Majoke now in a lot of trouble. Does try and burrow strike his way out, but that rot from Rock Lee just going to catch up with him, and that's going to add another to the board. 8-0, 7k net worth lead at
this is getting
sub 10 minutes. Very quick. They are capitalizing on the early game kills, looking to possibly push down towards this tier 1 tower bottom. Looks like Punch is going to have to get out. Does have low HP though.
He's got the tranquil. So stops by... Does he?
Does he use it?
Is it a group shower? No.
No. Did you just say is there a group shower?
It is a group shower. Haven't you seen it? Like everybody runs in here, they turn on the shower, and then
That's not what happens in group showers, Prof.
I don't know. You at least get
group
clean.
shower to get clean and healthy.
I wouldn't know. I've never... You clearly have those, so let's put it that way.
Let's skip the topic.
Let's skip the topic to something a little bit
more. I
more.
went to boarding school for 1 year. Beetle's gonna say something.
Yeah.
He should.
He looks interested in saying something.
He doesn't want to talk to us.
There's nothing I can say that I can say on a family-friendly.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Cloud is under a bit of pressure.
When we say a bit, there's 4 heroes hunting him down. He does have his fire on, and he's trying to run as fast as he can, but tries to juke the wrong way, gets caught out by a cheeky SK stun, and or was it a Nyx stun?
That was his Nyx stun.
Okay, it was a Nyx stun. Nyx catches him out. Doesn't matter. They've got their first kill on the board. But the pressure is on because this tier 1 bottom is being pressured and will eventually fall. Hunter going to pick that up. The Mirana ulti going to come in. They're going to try and turn on this. We do have Nyx invisible as well. Going to come out. Gets the double stun as well. Necro tries to turn around and try and go back on the Mirana. That ulti of Necro, of course, manages to sacrifice HP if they are below 0.6 of their HP, 60%.
Yeah, he deals more damage based on how much HP you've lost.
Okay.
So at its ultimate level, once he picks up a thing called an Aghanim Scepter, he can actually kill you if you have less than 50%.
To say Aghanims, you have to say Aghanims.
Yeah. But basically the idea is if you have 40% HP, you just die.
Aghanim. Okay. So if you're below 40% HP, you die. Necro can be very, very scary. So right now, it looks like EXdee are kind of trying to just get themselves into a position that they want to start to push and get some objectives done. They're getting the hero kills. Ward's going down, of course, for Goon Squad, trying to get some visibility on the map. Try and prevent some of these big rotations that EXdee have been pulling in. They haven't been smoking up for everything, so to be honest, potential is there. Right now, on the net worth scoreboard, Sniper safely sitting at the top at 7,200, and this is one of those heroes that maybe unlike Broodmother in previous games, once
he gets
fully
ahead, he
racked
stays
is
ahead,
very very scary.
I mean, the biggest problem, I mean, we were also talking in the second game earlier about Outwill Devourer being a glass cannon. Like, Sniper is that, and then even more so. He has absolutely no form of getting himself out of trouble. So as you can see here, he's going to get caught, and Game Reaper's going to miss the stun.
If Nyx had maybe landed that, there might have been a chance. TKC now going to punish him. That range advantage on Sniper, especially with that Dragon Lance, as well as the slow now coming in, might allow him to land a couple of extra shots if he's chasing down. Not going to, not worth it. Going to return back to farming. A much more viable option, especially considering Nyx is running back to his homeboys.
Yeah. Sniper, as we said, is a glass cannon, so he definitely does not want to get on one fight. Also one of the smallest heroes in the game.
That's not the group shower you want to take.
No, that's definitely... We'll get beat.
Brains, I just realized we've done a disservice to Penguin ZA. We haven't told him that the wards and the couriers also suffer from the hat's affliction.
Oh yes, that is true.
Oh no. Don't look at his look how his
You're
eyes,
only telling me this now?
Look how his eyes lit up. He wants to go and check out that. Last hits at 12 minutes. Sniper had 100 plus last hits. This is impressive rates of farm, fam.
They usually say that I think 60 or something is like decent at 10 minutes. Okay, that's at the pro levels where you're actually going to be contested heavily, but Sniper getting 100 last hits inside 12, well,
when we say pro scene, you're talking international scene.
The very top level. Like 60 is considered to be like fantastic. But that's because the amount of fighting that...
This is technically our pro scene, isn't it? Partly.
I mean, EXdee plays at the top level. I don't really know much about Goon Squad. I must apologize to fans of theirs, but I haven't seen much of Goon Squad.
I also haven't, so it's nice to see them entering up and playing up against a team like EXdee.
Well, TKC and Friends have generally, I mean, I think the last land placement they had was they got knocked out in the first round at the last Masters competition. Okay. So, like, they're up and comers. I think they do still have issues with the team, but in general, I think they are still. Their potential is very, very good. They just need to actually make something of it.
They have a high player caliber. They just need to perhaps work it better.
They need to develop. Yeah.
Develop. That's the word I was looking.
Yeah, I mean,
my primary school teacher said the same thing to me. I'm still waiting for that as well. We'll get there. Not about Dota, just about.
I think it was about.
It wasn't about. Right now, Hunter gonna rotate up top. Lots of pings coming in. It looks like the attack coming in here from the Goon Squad. They're gonna turn around. They're gonna actually catch Rock Lee out here, and there's no hope for him. A lot of big damage.
The fight's going to be turned around as Hunter tries to get himself out of trouble here. He's actually going to cop a ton of damage from the...
Oh, a nice ice path coming down. A big turn actually coming in. Hunter with the double kill now, allowing Cloud to come through. TKC gets the ultimate out to just finish off the Mirana, and they are going to try and catch. Yes, they do. Lich gets caught out too. The big rotation, big return. And that point, losing one purge for 4 heroes, including their core Luna. Very much worth it for EXdee at that point in the game.
Yeah. So, okay, Goon Squad 7th, 8th recently. Did you see that would put them in about the top 20 in South Africa? So, a decent team, but I don't think capable of matching the quality that we have seen from EXdee in the past. I mean, like I said, EXdee is favored here, but this is still a pretty impressive win rate, like a pretty impressive game from them at the moment. Like,
Yeah, they really are keeping the pressure on. They've managed to get ahead, stay ahead, and sort of keeping up that same pace. A lot of the time, I've seen, not necessarily in our pro or semi-pro games, but just in general, is the pub side. A lot of people seem to let the game fall off, so you get to a point that you could capitalize on, push a high ground, but you back off and farm, and that actually twists the game entirely. So keeping up the pressure when you need to have the pressure is sort of critical in Dota, and keeping the other team on the back foot, if that's your game plan, you know, to push fast and end quickly, not allow them to get the space. We know that, you know, as soon as heroes like Luna get super farmed up, and even, you know, big items on Lich and tanking, you know, sticks and possible ulti upgrades maybe can prove a little bit difficult. The tanking side from the Pudge being provided, he is getting involved in a lot of fights. He's up to 1200 HP. Not the most in the game, but they still do have a tanky Doom as well on the side.
Yeah, I think that the Doom will probably be your primary tank. You really want the Pudge more to be that guy that kind of hangs around in the fights, and like you either want him to start a fight or you want him to pull in an enemy hero out of position in a fight. So you want to pull someone that's, you know, fairly protected into a dangerous area for themselves. Blue Monkey, Fury spot each other and both turn tail and run.
Yeah, Blue Monkey with the little leap away, very graceful.
Yeah,
doesn't want to take that.
She's been practicing.
Want that ice in my life, pretty much. But Ice Path can catch you out off guard, and then all rains on you, especially Doom's there as well. So, yes, Doom is there. They are putting a lot of pressure on this tier 2 for now. Once again, I mentioned objectives. It looks like they're pushing some objectives right now.
Okay, guys, objectives, you might have heard us talk about it a couple of times. Objectives are things like towers, things like the big guy in the pit, Rashawn.
Shrines as well.
Shrines. It's basically any sort of property or real estate, as I like to call it. Buildings type thing that, like, you can't get them back once they're gone.
Yeah, ultimately, obviously, you want to push in like they're doing right now, looking to sort of extend their position here onto the high ground. They do have some decent counter initiation if Sand King decides to lead them, but as you can see, he's going to start his ulti. The big coming in might catch out Necro here. They are going to turn. Coach going to hook out the next, but he gets a nice double stun, and this is a big turn actually coming out. The Luna ulti rains in. And EXdee losing heroes fast. That's 3 down. It's the sniper alive as well as Doom. Don't count them out though. Blue Monkey is going to drop down quickly. TKC's DPS is just insane at this point, as the lockdown and mini stun just secure them. Will trade out almost 2 down. They did manage to push a high ground advantage. They've swung a little bit of gold towards the direction of Goon Squad, however. But, you know, a worthwhile fight from Goon Squad to turn in there. Good initiation, good use of the Potsdam ulti as well to just initiate in there. They had the SK ulti going, had the Luna ulti. There's not much more that they could have really done in there. Did they have the Lich ulti going as well?
I don't think. No, he did use it. He must have used it at some point. So yeah.
Lich ulti going through there as well.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I think it was decent.
Like, yeah, they can come back if they get a good team fight together. It's not all gone. I mean, it is sort of 12k up at a point where they managed to still secure 3 kills at least. Wasn't 2 of the core carries. Doom wasn't.
No, they got Hunter. So
did they get Hunter? Okay.
They didn't get Doom. I think
correct.
Doom would have been a nice bonus, but they did get Hunter. So he's actually the poorest of the 3 primary cores. Game Reaper though might set something up. Oh, and that is just pure sorry. Spidey senses there. They actually set up a fight. They've gotten Hunter at the start of this fight.
Look at the turn coming in from EXdee.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like Goon Squad is all that keen on fighting, taking way too much damage. Want to hang around. Phoenix, considering trying to farm, that is a very brave thing to do, since he can get caught out here. Pudge is one of those heroes that you should never be hanging around without support. Completely out of position with his almost certainly.
Yeah, that was a nice counter initiation coming in from EXdee. It was a good idea from Goon Squad as well to try and get something going with the next. Here's one of those heroes. They spot a lone sniper, perhaps lone sniper. Want to try and get something going on. Unfortunately, just not paying out. Look at Phoenix not gonna show his face just yet. He is. He's gonna go on Rock Lee right now. He does have the support of the SK coming in, and Rockley on Purge drops pretty quickly there. So that's a nice kill coming out from Goon Squad. Good capitalization. The Moronic arrow going to come in, miss everybody. They have spotted Cloud though in the side, and this potentially could be a big kill for them. The Ice Path going to stop everything, and the Magic Wand used to just save a little bit of HP, but he is ticking down, doing a lot of damage. Going to perhaps try and deny himself to neutrals. The ulti committed from Lich there. They wanted that.
Yeah, they definitely did. So making absolutely certain it is EXdee on that kill. Down will go the Doom. So, I mean, a good sequence of events for the guys on the Goon Squad. They doing some damage. EXdee here at the moment. EXdee kind of bleeding kills when they shouldn't be. Guys hanging around all by themselves, getting picked off. And that's the worries that, I mean, as I said in the earlier game today, is that the further you are ahead, the more the opponents get for killing you. So you need to be very, very careful about, especially dropping heroes like Hunter on a regular basis, because they start giving a lot more money to the opponents, as it looks like TKC...
And this is not a good kill to lose as well, just as you were talking about it. TKC drops down, and that gold advantage edging down slowly. I mean, they were up to what, 15k, 13k? Yep. Down to 9 now.
Gonna be a problem. Fury? He's got haste, so it's gonna be very difficult.
He's gonna play a little bit arrogantly, try and ease them out. Does deny them picking up the haste rune and managing to do anything with it.
So okay, but okay. The reason why he wasn't that stressed about haste is that haste, obviously, as we said earlier, gives you max movement speed, but you can't be slowed. So even if they hit you with a slow, haste overrides everything. And that's why it's not really.
They were two big stun heroes.
That is
lands
true.
one stun, Mirana lands a follow-up arrow, and you iron a little bit. You have to kind of trade very carefully.
He could have died, but I think he made the right decision.
Correct.
Just turning around and running.
No, for sure. Turn and burn. Just get out of there as quick as possible.
Remember correctly, I think Hero actually has a voice line that says turn and burn.
Yeah, so... Really?
Yeah.
No ways.
Yeah.
Turn and burn.
I kid you not.
Yeah, so we had our line, and now we've got turn and burn. So this is turning out to be a much better shoutcast than I even thought. Things that I didn't even know possible are possible.
Well, I mean, there's a ton of funny lines if you really go and have a look.
Okay, I must definitely go and squiz through them.
Especially the ones where they like speak to one another. Those are also.
Okay.
Yeah, Necro basically just clearing out the jungle here. The jungle, as I said earlier, neutral creeps basically just give you a lot of free gold. They tend to be stronger than your normal creeps. These guys. They tend to give you a little bit more gold, but they're much more rare. They only pitch up once every minute, not once every seconds. So while you can farm them for a bit of extra sustenance, they're not a good primary source.
Things looking pretty good for Goon Squad at this point. I talked about earlier just sort of backing off, allowing the other team to get into a more favorable position, and that's kind of what's going down right now with Goon Squad in terms of what they need to do. I think EXdee needs to, in their minds, get this game over and done with pretty quickly. I know that scaling of Sniper can get, but I just feel that if they allow it to just slip through their fingertips, that Goon's team-based side could also just catch them off guard.
I think Dooms do have a slightly stronger late-game lineup.
Okay.
So I mean, when I say that, guys, it basically means that the later the game goes, I think Goon's heroes tend to start doing more damage with the same kind of items. The heroes scale a little bit better than the guys on EXdee, although EXdee does have a lot of problematic heroes for the Goons to deal with.
Right now, Luna, one of the problem heroes for, not for Goon, but EXdee at this point in the game. Slowly, she's making her way up that net worth chart. With heroes very similar to Sniper in terms of dangerous when big items are achieved. So big two-man stun coming in there, avoiding the ice path as well. So Nex doing a good job there to just slow things down. Potentially a big gang gonna go down.
They did actually use the Mirana ult to get out of that, so they can't use that in any aggressive or defensive manner for the next 120 seconds. And that is a tiny bit of a worry here for the guys on the... That is a very, very powerful ability, especially if the opponents are not aware that you've used it.
And well, this also allows EXdee now to safely take that rush down. So I think that's a smart... They know that there's no sneaky Mirana going to come in or full 5-man lineup to
doesn't even look like Goon Squad are aware of it. So a bit of... that's the kind of thing that I was mentioning earlier, game sense. Is that like you should know that what EXdee needs to do next, you know, or one of EXdee's primary targets in, say, the next 5 minutes would be Rosh. Like, you can see that maybe 1 or 2 guys is aware of it, but at the point it's...
Cheap counter to Necro, Lich as a Glimmer Cape. When used to an ally that has been hit by Necro's ult, Reaper's Sight, this item gives the ally plus 45% magic resistance. So
and
that's...
invisibility.
And invisibility. So that's a good thing to note, guys. If you're ever up against a Necro, make sure you get a teammate to get you a Glimmer Cape. Or to get a Glimmer Cape and save you.
Yeah, but the problem is the teammate will...
Can you stop with the negativity, Prophecy?
If anybody's ever played a pub, that is bad.
Stop it.
I'll try.
Stop it.
I'll try.
I don't like this tone.
But anyway, I mean, at the moment there is no outer tower remaining. We call tier 1s, tier 2s outer towers.
Oh, this is a little. This
Fury?
is a little jar. Oh,
He's gonna get hooked to safety.
I thought that Rock Lee was actually trying to hook onto SK and maybe initiate something back, but right now
they've lost game Reaper.
They have lost Reaper because he was running around super close. Unfortunately, low HP on a Nyx Assassin without the ability to get out.
He got doomed, so I think he got caught in the fight like around about here.
And was trying to get out. Yeah. Doom's ultimate, for those that don't know, silences you and takes your health away. Quite an annoying spell.
Doom, who would have guessed?
There's nothing worse.
Nope. Not at all. So here we go. The second attempt to take out the tier 3. So, I mean, guys, the reason why they've taken so long to come back here, despite being a fairly significant advantage, is that the high ground in Dota makes a big difference. They can the opponents, as in this case, side of Goon Squad, can see further in. You cannot see above the hill over there, so you might see to the top of the stairs, but nothing further.
Correct.
Which means
so
that you could have a whole bunch of players hiding around in
We
this
call
area.
that the high ground advantage. So the team defending is favored essentially until you get some wards up in the enemy base. There's also a big lineup. That's the SK initiation coming in. The big ice path to just deny the start of that. The Lich ulti going to follow through though. It's doing a lot of damage. And look at that Luna ulti just going ham right now. However, Luna's hit the deck. And this fight so far looks like it's favoring up the EXdee lineup. They're going to be able to get up to this high ground. They don't have the creep support to help them push into the... here it comes. That's all you needed. The backdoor protection is still enabled. However, this is going to hopefully allow them. Doom eats an arrow that he possibly could have missed out there. Quite a long stun, in fact.
Yeah, very
almost
long
a max level arrow.
Yeah. So Morana basically throws out an arrow. The further the arrow travels, the longer it stuns for up to a maximum of 5 seconds. That is why she can be a very, very potent.
Talking about objective EXdee, once again, just getting those objectives done. They've moved straight to middle. There's still some time down on Luna. They know that Nyx will be back now. However, they're trying to make sure that the creeps have the best advantage in pushing up and staying strong. So they've dropped that mid tower now, and they look like they're going to take out one of these racks as well.
The problem is they keep going on. They keep throwing the arrow onto the cloud, and they don't really have much else. They're going to try jump now. Majoke jumps in with the epicenter combo. It's not going to be enough though. They will get a kill onto Game Reaper as well as Blue Monkey. Majoke is now going to get caught hooked out of his sandstorm, and that'll be the end of him.
And that's going to be GG called 100%. That was just sort of a symphony of I don't want to say fails at the end.
Symphony of skills to a degree,
Correct.
but unfortunately, I think it was a desperation play there by Goon Squad. They knew they needed to make something happen, and they didn't get it right.
100%. So yeah, that's the first game done and dusted. 29 minutes. It looked like it was going to be a little bit faster. EXdee sort of slowed down. Goon Squad had a nice run, sort of coming up and just picking up a couple of kills just to change. I mean, at one stage it was like 10-0, I think.
It was 8-0, and then it eventually was 10. So I mean, a decent comeback. They pulled it back for a little bit.
You need to come a little bit closer so that you can get on stream.
Almost get on your
Beetle,
lap there.
we are back. Penguin, we are back. I have to hand the stream back
Hi.
to the host because apparently I'm irresponsible.
You did well, actually. There wasn't so much irresponsibility there. Congratulations to EXdee for taking game 1 off of Goon Squad convincingly. Definitely started off convincing. A little bit of a comeback from Goon Squad halfway through, but I don't think there was ever a doubt that game was EXdee's. I mean, by the 15-minute mark, it kind of looked over. Then all of a sudden, Goon Squad did look like they had a chance. What happened?
Yeah, I think they were EXdee was kind of trying to force the high ground a little bit too much. The sort of combination of ultimates, the Sand King ultimate as well as Luna, managed to hold off on that high ground as well. So they kind of turned it around there and then managed to just get a couple of back-to-back kills. I think EXdee then sort of just regathered their thoughts, reapproached things, got some wards going, forced out a little bit of a split push as well, and then just decided to all group up, take down those bottom racks, and then just not even abandon them, force the mid situation as well, which then Goon kind of dived into, and at that stage it committed so much that you couldn't but call GG.
I mean, that's summary there. I think the only reason that why EXdee got caught out in that other fight was with Hunter going down, he actually had no assistance when he tier 3. He was basically sitting too far away for any of EXdee to help him out. You saw in the second fight, that same area, they were able to actually move their 2 carries to a more safe position and take the fight from there.
EXdee players in the beginning, I mean, they farmed up really quickly. We saw Sniper with a huge amount of farm quite quickly, and they kept farming. Why couldn't Goon Squad keep up with that farming? What was EXdee doing to counter that?
I mean, they're doing a pretty good job at placing pressure on the Goon Squad guys, and because EXdee's also played at a high level, I think they know how to push the envelope a little bit more. So it might be that they're taking chances because they know that Goon Squad is a little bit less likely to punish them for their mistakes, whereas Goon Squad is still at that stage where they're panicking and they're not 100% certain how far you can push it. Like, you'll often see, especially the very top level of players, what will happen is that they'll do something that is legitimately bad for a low level player, but it's because they know what they need to do to get out of that situation, and they often know the current state of the game forces them to.
Should Luna from Goon Squad have bought a BKB in that game? What would have been the advantages or disadvantages for her to be buying?
That's a tough one. I mean, the problem with BKB is that it's an entirely defensive item, for the most part. There are certain heroes that can, get a bit of a bonus out of it. But Luna in general, she's one of those heroes that would always prefer to build damage over any sort of defensive ability. So while BKB is absolutely necessary for her at some point, the longer you can keep it, the longer you can push it back is the better for you.
So game 2, you're sort of giving your chat to Goon Squad. What can they do better? What can they do differently? How did they upset EXdee in their next game? I mean, is this really just a case of a skill gap is too big to come back from? I don't take a game off EXdee?
I don't really think it's just a skill gap thing. I think it just comes down to timing side and playing into where your skills and strengths are, because playing against another team, their sort of weaknesses strat that you need to just play at your best sort of your best game of Dota, as opposed to trying play against their worst game.
Yeah.
Let me just change the overlay up here. I've got the wrong one here.
MVP for that last game before we kick off with the second one.
Sniper has to be Sniper. Come on,
Yeah.
100 last hits.
I don't know. It's actually a tough one again. I think that there was a lot going on there. I think Sniper did a lot of damage, but he also had a lot of his early game was very, very good. Mostly because Hunter was rotating between 2 lanes. I'd say, I think Hunter's early stage, his early play, probably made Goon Squad's life a lot harder.
And we are just about ready for the second game. We're going to be kicking off shortly. It is 1-0 to EXdee in this best of 3. So this could be the last one. It might just be the third game. And we are live with our draft of creatures, Penguin ZA.
Yeah, the draft of creatures. But what really impressed me in the previous game was obviously the Sniper. I mean, Sniper at a stage also has so much range that the amount of harass that he can do, also in the early game, I think also gave him that advantage. And eventually, once I think it was Luna that was mid lane. Obviously, he was able just to push out, and obviously with that being able to farm up really, really highly. But do you think that we might just see a Sniper pick again here, if possible, by EXdee?
Oh, I can tell you for a fact that Prof was right the last game. Goon Squad definitely do not like playing against Nature's Prophet or Monkey King. That's the exact same bans.
Yeah.
So they hate those heroes, and they'll take a Necro any day of the week. They might pick it up themselves.
Yeah. I'll swap to the overlay. Looks...
Yeah, in-game overlay, just so that we can see what we're talking
But
about.
yeah, very often when you see the same two bans out of an opponent, it's like, especially because those two bans are not, like, they're not legitimately that strong. Like, if you just take like how they're played by anybody, I don't think those heroes are worthy of being the first two bans. So it clearly just seems as the Goon Squad doesn't want to play against those heroes, rather than like those heroes are that strong. And EXdee is actually going to open the exact same way next for Shakiro. Goon Squad clearly have faith in the Lich. I didn't see him do a hell of a lot.
I didn't see him go to town or do big. So they're obviously either just going from a market strat that they've kept to themselves, that they're confident with, or...
This is often why we've said that Lich is like one of those South African special heroes. Lich is like his primary pickups, especially again top level, is he makes the early game very easy. He has two abilities. The first one is that he can sacrifice one of his own creeps to steal mana back, and he has a very strong early game damage. And then his third ability is not often picked up early on, but it's also very powerful. It gives a lot of armor. So he makes the early game very easy, because by removing one of your creeps, it means that the opponent's creep wave pushes closer to your tower, which means it's easier for you to be defensive.
They also get one less creep in terms of experience as well,
goals.
So they theoretically level up a little bit.
So Lich is a very defensive hero.
You get that experience, correct.
So yeah, Lich is often picked up for that reason, but like I've always had a problem with it in South Africa, is because I think players rely too much on that defensive mindset when picking Lich, and I think they could do better with other heroes.
Do you think that Lich is a strong enough pick to warrant just giving away Necro Chikiro? Like, for me, the worry is, I don't care how strong a support is, it's not worth giving your enemy two really strong heroes in the current meta.
Yeah, I mean,
especially if you've just lost up against what they possibly capable of.
Yeah.
I
like
to some extent.
I don't think Lich is worth a first pick. You know, like, sure, giving up the support for two potent heroes is okay in certain instances, but like not as a pick where you could have gotten something.
Earthshaker.
Earthshaker.
Yes.
Well, depending on what Goon Squad picks next, I mean, this feels very much like EXdee is on top of the current meta. They've been watching Pro Dota, and I'm not seeing the same thing from Goon Squad right here. These picks and these bans. Yeah, ban Sniper did really well, but the rest of it just seems a little bit all over the show, Prof.
Yeah, a little bit of homework being done.
It just seems like it's very comfort pick based. So again, what'll often happen is like teams will pick, like they don't. So when we're talking about the meta, we're talking about at the highest levels of Dota. Like, certain heroes are favored by teams because teams think that they're very strong. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're objectively strong, but teams believe in them a lot more. So what's happening here is that it looks like Goon Squad is more trying to focus on heroes that they're comfortable in playing and heroes that they know that they're good with, as opposed to something that might be legitimately better in the current state of affairs in Dota.
Ooh. Juggernaut coming out. Goon Squad.
Does he have the golden cat?
Does he have the golden cat? We need Penguin to weigh in on this option. We know that Sargon might have something to say about the golden cat, though.
If he has the golden cat, I'm legitimately quitting the stream immediately.
So let's.
If he does, though, I'll be really impressed. I'll actually be laughing at Sargon. I might just actually take a screenshot and
so
then.
Sargon, tell us about the golden cat.
Well, Juggernaut's got a healing ward. It's one of his abilities, and it follows Juggernaut around. Or you can also make it follow other people. It's just another unit he summons for a little while, and it provides great amounts of healing in a small area of effect. Now, as you all know, Penguin is our hat expert, and certain things look better than others. Juggernaut's normal healing ward is quite honestly the most boring thing in the world. The golden cat is a super rare version of I think it was one of the TIs or one of the majors. You could get this awesome cat, and the golden version is like a 0.01% chance to get this drop. And
it was the Manila Major, right?
Yeah, there you go. And Gmax has one that he's been lording over me all day. And now
I
this
haven't. I didn't know that I had it.
Done.
Yeah, I don't think he's been lording. I think you've been kind of lording the fact that he has it over you.
I didn't.
Yourself
I didn't even.
against him.
I didn't even know I had it.
Well,
we see the Timbersaw pick again.
Going back to the draft quickly, we've got another Timbersaw coming out. We've got a Faceless Void from EXdee. That's another, I mean, I wouldn't say super popular, but certainly a powerful hero in its own right. Basically a hero built around the theme of time. His ultimate is he creates a dome in which basically anyone other than him is completely frozen, and it allows him to do an insane amount of damage in that time. He doesn't have any real damage abilities, but he can hit you pretty hard if given enough time to build good items.
I mean, he's kind of the perfect example of a carry that needs a lot of farm to do damage, and he's very useful as a utility from the gate out the gate as soon as he hits level 6 with his ulti. But to get any sort of damage out of Faceless Void, he's one of those hard farming carries that need a lot of farm to do anything good.
Traditionally, a lot of teams like to run him in the off lane just because of that utility. Get him a lot of experience on his own. Give him those levels. He gets his ultimate ability at level 6, and then he just roams around, uses it, gets a kill, back to farming. Some of them will even go with a blink dagger to make him even more, mobile. So that lets him, use the blink to jump towards an enemy, and then if he needs to, he uses his abilities to get back out again.
Very, very strong hero in general, as the guys have mentioned. Only really needs 1 or 2 items to be devastating in team fights. Final ban out is going to be the Queen of Pain. So that is a succubus. Pretty strong hero in general, often played in the mid lane. Not quite certain why Goon Squad would ban it at this stage. Viper is still available here. Seen it a couple of times. That's a very, very strong hero.
It was EXdee that banned it.
EXdee banned it?
Yeah.
Viper, not Venomancer.
Are you calling out the stats guy?
I'm calling out the stats
I just
guy.
want to say...
I was talking about Quap. I thought you meant...
No, I said Quap was banned, but EXdee could in theory pick Viper here.
Okay.
I broke something.
Someone's throwing things.
No, that's because he's playing with fidget spinners while we're trying to stream Dota 2. And in my house, we have a giant moth that keeps trying to land on Prophecy's face and then trying to land on my face. And it's just... I don't like moths, I'm not going to lie. No. Are you a fan of moths?
No.
Okay. Me neither.
Mortal fear is insects. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Oh, really? Yeah. Even me, dude. If bugs come here, we're screwed. Broadcast over. Right now, the moth is playing with our lives.
I think this time it's our turn to bring us back to the draft. You guys are going mental over there. Prof, this Tinker pick, what do you make of it? I think it's a little bit ballsy, considering there's a void that can just chrono and blow you up so quickly.
Doesn't
what do you
care
think
because there's a moth on his face.
I think the problem with the Tinker here is that, like, generally he wants to stay at a distance from the opponents. And I find it very, very hard to see how he's not going to get caught out here. Jakiro has an incredibly long-range stun. Earthshaker generally tends to buy a Blink Dagger and also has a long-range stun, and Faceless Void, same thing. So Tinker generally wants to stay away from the opponents.
Oh, it's a TKC Lena mode.
Ooh, okay, yeah. So that's just my concern here with Tinker. Is I think there's way too much gap close from EXdee to really.
Hats consultant time.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, let's agree that Tinker is by far the best hat in this entire lineup. Wow, that is an amazing Tinker set. I don't see why he chose it over.
That is
else.
actually
Tinker looks like
really awesome.
Is that not perhaps no?
Tinker.
That's a Warhammer 40k skin. It's got to be.
Yeah, it does look like it. It does look like it.
He's a space marine.
But TKC's Lena has a very dope actual hat.
That is
well,
true.
actually, a humble mention to Necrophos's hat as well. That Necrophos hat's got
Damn.
some stuff. That's not
Everybody's hats on points. Hats on points.
Except Faceless Void.
Jakiro's even got the immortal.
That he does.
We can see that Lich is looking fabulous AF again.
Yes. Basically,
he's looking really
okay,
cool.
guys, hang on. Timbersaw wins this. He's got the Ice set.
Does he?
Daryl Kopage Young, that is the Ice set. For anybody that doesn't know, Ice should be your new love if you love fun players. He is well known for things like never playing with shoes on, being a complete and utter troll in game and in real life, and being one of the best players in the world at any one point in time.
So basically, love him because he has no shoes.
He's great.
And if you don't know anything else about our broadcast team, you also know that Prophecy Gaming is a massive fan of Ice apparently. So that's news to me.
We learned something new.
Oh, there we go. I see it.
Called the Timber Thor, the Ice set.
Called the Timber Thor. Timber Thor.
Ice. This man has actually watched 10 games of Ice. I'm severely disappointed.
Only 10.
Only 10.
Only 10. He's got the Ice set, and we're about to kick off. Beetle, are you handing over the reins?
You don't have a reins because he left us earlier.
Game 2, EXdee versus Goon Squad. It is 1-0 to EXdee at the moment. This is basically to wrap up the series if EXdee can take this. If not, we'll go to a Game 3. Prophecy and G-Max are 2 casters. We'll bring you every bit of action they managed to catch on their dodgy camera work. Take it away, gents.
But I don't like how you called us out for our dodgy camera work on the stream. Like, I understand our dodgy camera work's super dodgy, but
it's terrible.
Mean, like on the stream, man.
Yeah, it's not done. It's not.
Basically, what you do for 10 minutes is just stare at a tree now, Beetle.
Well, let's introduce...
And we talk about the butterflies going around. Okay, you're going to introduce the teams?
Yeah, we can do that.
You're the best at going through the run-ups. You've got the mouse.
Lots of practice, like.
Yeah.
So, Blue Monkey, he's going to be running the Juggernaut there. We then have in the mid lane, for the moment, it'll be Bassi. He's going to be picking up the Lich. He will be helped out in this game on support by Game Reaper on the Clockwork. Down top lane, in this case, we will have Majoke on the Timbersaw, and the final member of the mid party will be Phoenix on the Tinker. For the side of EXdee, quickly, we will have TKC running Lina, the Dragon Slayer, have Rock Lee on the Earthshaker, Cloud on the Faceless Void with Keith, Fury with Jakiro, and Hunter will be picking up the Necrophos once again. So the two brothers on the same heroes that they started the last game with.
100%, and like we mentioned before, they allowed this to come through. Fury now going to get a lot of early harass down on Timbersaw. He does have a couple points up in his reactive armor. He decided to build up for that little bit of tanky harass that might be coming through. And the mid sort of matchup, a lot of harass potential coming out from a Tinker Lich combination. So TKC going to have to just play it a little bit careful. Does have that interesting last hit attack animation on Lina. Not always the easiest thing to land it with. So some skill. There we go. The harass coming in. That laser beam from Tinker actually makes you miss a couple of attacks or just one attack. I'm not sure as it scales up for a duration of time. But look at that harass damage being taken out. Going to force TKC to have to use up some of his consumables at some stage. Or call for a support to rotate in and give some well-needed HP support. Bassi down low and big. Oh, first blood coming out from that Tinker, and TKC, like I said, just sort of playing with death, the nuke down potential of the Tinker and Lich.
Yeah, I mean I think this is a much better usage of Lich in this game than we saw in game 1. Here the Lich is being active. He's getting aggressive in the mid lane, forcing TKC to either move back or take damage, and in that case TKC wasn't willing move back far enough, took too much damage. Phoenix comes in. He's got two abilities. One is laser, the other one is heat-seeking missiles. Both have fairly long range. Heat-seeking missiles is one of the longest in the game, so TKC was able to get popped there with relative ease. So a ton of damage coming out of Tinker, but he does have the problem in that he's incredibly easy to kill if caught out here.
Yeah, an early kill going the way of Goon Squad. What they want to sort of get their game off to start with, they trying to, of course, come back, find a game in this series to force out a game 3 in this best of 3. However, EXdee want to finish things off rather quickly. TKC lands the first stun, but not enough follow-up to get anything onto Bassi, and the harass and a comeback out from Tinker there, just keeping TKC a little bit humble. But look at the harass damage sort of trade-outs that that Lina attack can allow you. It's sort of got a little bit of long range. Good rotation coming in from Reaper here to just lock him in the cogs. And TKC, another early death. So, unlike the previous game, not allowing TKC to get the space that he possibly would.
say. TKC is having a bit of an issue this game. As you can see, like, he doesn't have the same support as he did in game 1. Hunter's been forced to stay down at the bot lane, and the problem with Lina is that she's not very mobile at all, and the two supports from the side of Goon Squad have recognized that they can punish her very, very much for that lack of mobility. What you saw there from the Clockwork was when he walks in, Clockwork is I mean, he's basically a dwarf, but his abilities, the most important one that you'll often see is the power cogs. What he does is he pops 6 little blocks around him that the opponents cannot get in or out of. They have to basically break it or blink over the top of. Can't just run through. But Clockwork traps you in there with him. So if he can do that, he sets up a very, very easy fight for his own team, because you then either have to attack the cogs and not attack the opponents, or try fight your way out of the cogs.
It puts you in a super uncomfortable position, and if you get too close to them from the outside, you lose
you get bounced
mana.
Back. Yeah, you get bounced back and lose a bit of mana and HP.
Mana and HP sacrificed, especially in the early game when you do have low mana and HP constraints, especially mana. It's super frustrating trying to get in there, trying to do anything, and constantly getting bounced out. Tinker, of course, is going to be setting up towards getting routes of travel and start making a little bit of split push towards the end of the game.
But Rockley is aware of the tricks this time, and Bassi is going to be punished for his attempted kill on Lina there, and a good turnaround. EXdee showing that they're learning pretty quickly how Bassi goes down.
Did Sargon stats say that Rockley has a 65% win rate?
No, he said that the hero has only won 1 in 6 games.
1 in 6 games.
Despite having a 65%, I think, is it pick rate or win rate?
I don't know. It kind of flashed up to early Sargon. Can you just confirm what our stat was, if you're still there? Sure, if you are.
It was a 65% pick rate.
65%
with only a 1 in
6 win. Okay, perfect.
Chance, or 1 in 6 chance of winning, or whatever it was.
Okay, so neutral stacking, we haven't actually seen much of it this game, but a trick that was learnt in the old Warcraft 3 engine with the neutrals is that if you pull them out of the camps at the times at which they were meant to spawn, once they move out of this block, which Gmax has kindly opened up for us, if the creeps are not inside that block, or there's nothing inside that block,
they will respawn as if they were
dead. You get a new set of creeps.
Correct. So creep stacking is essentially pulling them out whilst timing it, so that all the creeps are out of that little block, allowing more to there we go. There's a nice little stack that's been built up by Bassi, basically allowing
we'll actually watch this one. We'll see him now. You'll see he's going to pull it at a very, very specific time, and by pulling we mean he's going to attack the creeps.
So you'll attack one. Here we go. 54 pulls them out now and makes some space, allows all the creeps to get out. They need to be out. There we go. And you see that last creep literally got out the last second there. That was insane.
Very, very well
So
played.
a nice little triple stack up there as well.
So now basically what happens is that his mid laner, who has another ability called the March of the Machines.
Is there any way to blink over the cogs? Can you jump into them?
You can blink into them, and you can blink over them, but it tends to be very, very difficult.
You can't blink out really, because basically what happens is once they're around you, you're going to get hit by a proc charge of something that will have disabled your ability to blink out. But you can blink in. It's not a force field.
Yeah. It's like... Regardless, Bassi currently under attack from Fury, but here comes Phoenix with a ton of damage. Fury and TKC all of a sudden not really keen to continue that fight. And
Bassi just turned, gave a little bit of slow and damage, and was like, I'm out of here, boys. I'm going to just leave Tinker to do what he needs to do. So right now, leading up the last hit side, Necro at 41. In fact, tied with Juggernaut at 41. So things are even on that side, and make that Tinker as well, 41. So the leader now, Juggernaut, make that Tinker 44. It's very difficult to call last hit stats when everyone's just doing such
I will say the one thing that, the one major difference in things is both carries have been doing very, very well. So Hunter stacking quite a bit of gold there, Blue Monkey as well. But the difference, I think, really at the moment that you want to be looking at on EXdee, Cloud is up at a fairly significant. He's got 40 last hit, which means he's farming very, very well. And Timbersaw is not doing that well. And Timbersaw has one of those issues where he doesn't get going early. It sometimes feels like he doesn't do a whole lot of anything.
Yeah,
so
he's kind of having a very difficult off lane right now. Being harassed out. He's not managing to get anywhere near his armor requirements that he feels comfortable with. His reactive armor just not sort of... Generally what happens with him is when he solos in that off lane is he builds up a super big level lead at least, you know, so that he's still a couple levels ahead. However, at this stage, he's kind of just struggling. He's just hit his level 6. He's gone to pulling a couple of creeps, making a couple of stacks, and just trying to juggle things up to the top lane.
and this is one of the trade-offs that you make, is that if your supports really do get involved a lot more trying to help out one player, they tend to have to trade off by not being able to help another player. So as you can see, that's the real difference here, is that the EXdee supports have helped Hunter up top to make certain he's getting a good early game, and supports from Goon Squad have made certain that their mid laner is getting a better early game. But you can see the more time that the supports spend moving around, not being around kills or any of that type of thing, they tend to start suffering on the experience side. So
correct. They need to try and it's a fundamental balance between not falling off and not just
Hunter?
take away. Oh, Hunter's going hard for this, but Timber going to turn around, trying to get something to work here. Hunter just very, very arrogantly attacks there. He knows Jakira's behind, trying to set something up. The Cogs going to maybe come out here.
Definitely.
Yes, here come the Cogs. Reaper's been caught up position. Tinker going in hard, trying to just get a second here. Working out very well for Goon Squad. They just sort of baited that out. Hunter in a lot of trouble right now. He's going to get dropped down
no
to
idea
0.
what that was about.
I don't know. That was a strange play.
That was. I mean, I would just say that was a legitimately stupid play. I mean, you didn't really like. What's he gonna do there? Like, sure, he's trying to kill a low HP Timbersaw, but the problem is that like the odds of him getting that, especially because he's on a slow hero, he's wandering into enemy territory.
I don't ever want you to watch my Dota, because if that was a stupid play, my players are all stupid. But
yeah, but I mean,
it was an unexpected, very silly decision.
I expect more from Hunter, though. That's what I'm saying. That, like, he's a better type of player than most, and should know that. That's not going to be an efficient.
There are 4 times the neutral keep camps: small, medium, large, and ancient camps. The larger, higher, larger camps, the more XP and gold that you get from it.
And the more difficult to kill.
Correct. The more HP that they'll have. Sometimes I've had people stack things that I couldn't farm before. I tried to be impressive. Came in with my Kunkka Shadow Blade, and
we're taught a lesson here.
I was taught a lesson.
Damage management.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like bot lane, and there we go. That is, in fact, what you last saw there was the Faceless Void ulti. He's
trying to get out of here, but the Cog's actually forcing him off of that TP, and Blue Monkey with the Juggernaut manages to finish things off. So that's a big kill for them as well. Goon Squad getting ahead where they need to right now. However, the gold lead's still favoring EXdee, so they're capitalizing on the farm side of things. Only 2 kills to their name, but a very, very marginal net gold lead. Net worth lead. I'll get there.
Alright, guys, if you're wondering what we're talking about, it's the little gold section over there. It basically gives you an estimation of how close or how far ahead the one team is. It's based on the amount of gold they have in their coffers at the bottom over there, and in their inventory. So these are all items that have different values, obviously, and whoever has more worth is currently ahead on the net worth. It is very deceptive. Just being ahead on the net worth lead is not necessarily the best way to read the game, nor is being ahead on the skill, on the kill charts, but it is a good approximation of how the game is going.
100%. You can't always just look at that. Once again, Tinker's going to get to a stage in this game, however, where he's going to be able to start just TPing around the map.
Popping.
Basically, what Tinker can do, his ultimate ability allows him to reload, which gives him a full refresh on all his spells. Yeah. And that actually doesn't just apply to his spells, it also applies to his items. So if he gets those boots of travel that allow you to teleport around, normally has a cooldown. Basically you can teleport somewhere, refresh them. He's got the boots of travel, of course. It's 11 minutes in, but he can now basically put down his little Tinker army, get some farm, get some kills. He can even go and let these things run around the jungle, right? He can go and set them up. So the stacks that have been set up for him, he can go and farm now, get a lot of gold, and kind of just get a big net worth advantage. Right now, last hits wise, Lena at the top of the board. Going ham. TKC is just one of those players. Can keep up with anyone.
As I said, he's one of the up-and-coming mids. He's done quite a lot for young as he is. So, been looked at as one of the guys that should in the next few years either make it to the very top or never mind, I'll continue as Fury gets caught out there. Game Reaper hopping on top of him and blowing up the cops. So what you saw there, guys, was the hook shot from Clockwork. It is the opposite of what we saw from the Pudge. Instead of Pudge pulling the hook towards you, Clockwork shoots the hook, latches onto you and pulls himself towards you.
And it's quite scary because once he's on you, he just puts those cogs down and starts off his battery assault. Battery assaults. What did I call it?
You call it shrapnel, which
Shrapnel.
is actually the
Sniper's
thing.
ability,
Yeah.
yes. We're just talking about snipers, so I just had that fresh on the brain. I had to Google all the ability names quickly.
Did you?
Didn't you see me?
Oh,
you
no,
weren't going to
were that
sell me
quick.
out. Okay.
You were that quick.
Okay,
at
you weren't
least.
going to sell me out, thanks.
So TKC, busy farming up some camps. His own Treads and Necros only the third most popular. Yeah, but that's pubs.
So did we just get a little bit of
We got a pub stat.
a pub stats?
I don't know how useful that is.
Beetle, please can you weigh in here? Sargon needs to provide us with professional strats. We don't want pub strats and we don't want hashtags.
I honestly think in our sort of casting abilities, I feel like pub stats are probably more appropriate.
No, but we're
We're
talking.
having a fight down below.
But we're talking about the players, and we just almost missed a kill. Tinker.
We missed 2 kills before that. But unfortunately, it does look as though EXdee trades a 3 for 1. They do get the kill on the Juggernaut, so that in a way is sort of worth it as they slow down the primary carry, and they might lose their courier.
No, Courier gets out just ahead of Majoke. He does have his ability to hook onto trees, but the Courier can just fly right over them. So managing to get safely. Look at this beautiful little
that's a
Courier.
good stat.
Pub stats are 100% fun, unlike Prophecy and Gmax.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Have you met Sargon? Because that guy's not fun at all.
I've met Sargon only on the internet, and I
Probably
can
because you looked
confirm-
over him when you saw him in real life.
Oh, is he?
He's one of those guys.
Oh, the smaller human.
Yeah, smaller human.
Okay. Ooh, he doesn't even want to talk back to you right now.
Clearly. I mean, he could communicate with those guys.
He's getting on the booster seat so he can reach the microphone to insult you back, but until that time...
Step ladder, I guess.
Okay, step ladder. Let's get back to the game here. It looks like the gold has turned the other way eventually. And Goon Squad marginally leading. 1.73 meters is not short. It's a lot shorter than I thought you were, so I've learned something new today.
Yeah, South African people tend to be a little bit taller than that, so...
Yeah.
Yes, he's below the average, so he seems a lot shorter.
So basically, Prophecy is just called Sargon below average. We're not talking about height.
Hunter is about to get a party that he was not invited to.
Yeah, he's in trouble here. The cogs have locked down. Hunter is caught out once again, trying to just save himself here, but Lich gonna commit the ulti as well just to add insult to injury. What is the point of dropping an ulti there? Was that just secure the kill?
Yeah.
Necro is not really going to...
Yeah.
I mean, Necro is never going to get out of that at that stage, so...
I mean, it is a trade on the 2 carries, though. Hunter loses his life. Juggernaut loses his in the mid lane at the same time, so...
Correct, so worthwhile trade-outs, we would say.
Yeah,
And
Fury goes down.
Can you get the camera work here?
I shall try.
Okay.
Fights take place at odd hours of the night.
Don't
so
say
it's a
that.
bit difficult.
A bad workman always blames his tools.
I'm not blaming my tools.
You blamed the fights.
I'm blaming my brain.
You didn't blame my computer, that's true.
Well, Hunter has gone straight back. As you can see, the Tinker is trying to teleport into the area.
He got in there, blinked himself out. I don't even know where he went to. Oh, there we go. We found him. I'll pretend like I didn't know where he went. You knew where he went, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fairly good idea. Okay, so Tinker, guys, as we said, like you'll see him constantly spinning around. It's called rearm. He is trying to reset his skills the whole time. He could become incredibly annoying.
I don't know why he went with the Noi. I was going to say one of those majestic sort of
No,
heroes to
this is an incredibly high skill cap here. Like the players that tend to play Tinker, especially the guys that very, very good, like passed away in South Africa, TKC. Clearly, there's some level of skill.
Oh,
here
a big
as
hook.
well.
Game Reaper has been on point with this, and Fury once again just caught out in the cogs here and going to melt down. Big kill for him, but going to get ultimately returned on as Rockley now turns to try and use something on that Timbersaw. Going to back out there. He doesn't want to take that fight. And slowly, EXdee trying to get a couple of kills up here, but right now it looks like Goon Squad in full control of this game at this point, in my opinion.
I wouldn't say in full control. They're certainly in the lead, and I don't know if EXdee really picking the best way to deal with it. Cloud's going to try to take a fight here, but Phoenix is doing quite a significant amount of damage as Cloud is forced back now. I mean, it's getting tricky. We saw talent choices there earlier, and okay, so talents, you get them at level 10, 15, 20, and 25. They are basically options for your hero. They can change which
Today I learned Dota 2 as talents. Kidding. Kidding.
But so as you'll see, here is a stat popping up. It
So
basically
there's
just tells you
TKC's skill tree. There's
the options that he can choose. So he could either choose to move faster in one case, or take more, or do more damage. He's chosen the option to do more damage. So you can clearly he's going for a very, very aggressive build here on the Lina.
yeah, just going for that damage output. Lina, of course, as she casts more spells, gets the passive ability to get an increased attack speed. We've just lost another kill. Game Reaper going down on TKC. That's a big one.
Yeah,
Was assisted by the ever so popular Tinker. However, Tinker is going to be everywhere going forward with those TP boots, and while on his way, is he going to do it like a Bloodstone or something?
They usually no, he's building Ags next. I think. Yeah,
Looks
Ags
like
next.
an
Sorry, I
Ags.
was just a bit confused with the items in his tree. So he's got himself the Ether Lens, basically just a percentage damage increase on any magic damage that he does, and increased range on his skills. And then he's building an Agnum Scepter next. Once that, I'll explain it.
Oh,
Cloud
Cloud
getting caught
in-
out here.
Yeah,
Blink.
he's in a little bit of trouble.
And he's going to get himself out of trouble. That is very surprising. I cannot believe the EXdee allowed him to get away there. God, that's crazy. I thought
They're trying to lock him down.
yeah.
It looked like the Fisher kind of blocked off the teammates trying to get in. But yeah, like he said, Cloud managing to escape with his life. That's going to favor Goon Squad. They didn't want to drop someone there. 3 men up top. I say men, but Necros. Is that a man or a woman?
I don't know what that thing is.
Man, woman? I don't know.
Sort of like an undead elf.
Undead elf. We'll go with that. My ex-girlfriend, basically.
Wow. Shade throwing for days.
Oh, no shade.
Fury going to get himself out of trouble there. Yeah.
Just playing with death there on the last couple seconds of that proc managing TP. Out of danger.
Talk a bit about Juggernaut. Juggernaut is a carry hero. Generally tends to get a lot of farm, does a lot of damage. Abilities include a spinning attack, where he deals constant damage and cannot take any magic damage in return. A healing ward, which was mentioned earlier. I do not believe that he has... no, he's just got the standard old healing ward, which basically deals a percentage heal in an area over time. Very, very powerful ability. Then he's got an inbuilt crit, and his final ability is Omni Slash. He basically jumps around you, doing a number of attacks up top
big
lane.
ulti
He
coming in,
is
big jump, and Hunter
destroyed.
gonna just finish things off there with the ultimate. That also increases the spawn duration, correct?
Yes.
Coming back. So Juggernaut got 60 seconds. However, answering back, Fury has hit the deck. Fury seems to have been unluckily getting caught out here at the moment. Look at this going down. That's a nice kill coming out from Tinker. That spam ability really
stunned and caught out. Does he get himself out of
is
trouble?
going
He's
to try
gonna
and
TP
reload
himself?
here, but going to
No.
get caught out by TKC's little dragon slave. So good sort of combo wombo to come back there, catch out the Tinker, who was sort of going a little bit ham.
Yeah,
the
fantastic kill there.
The problem with Tinker is that once he gets to that sort of place in his mind that you can get anywhere, stand anywhere, very, very high damage output hero, of course, managing to refresh all those spells.
Yeah, he does a ton of damage actually, Tinker. But again, another example of those glass cannons. So got to be very, very careful about his positioning in fights. If he gets stunned and caught out, he's got almost no form of defense. Getting caught out there right under the tower by a very well placed fissure from the Earthshaker ends in his death there. So I mean, at the
Unduly
moment,
demised.
yeah. I mean, at the moment, Goon Squad's not doing terribly, but they just don't feel like they're doing a lot of anything. Like, they've taken a couple of the towers, see here, but the problem is, from here, they actually need to start forcing EXdee to actually start taking
is
fights.
endgame is Faceless Void sort of...
Oh, Faceless Void's brutal.
He's brutal.
If he can get hold of...
That's what I was going to say, because I've sort of had experience with him in the pub game, and he's brutal there, so...
The thing is, like, generally, Faceless Void is almost never given enough time and opportunity to farm up, but in the end game, he's probably one of the strongest heroes in the game, just because the ability to freeze up to 5 of the opponent heroes in a single chronosphere, like that cannot be overestimated.
Game Ranger once again catching up Fury, but they're going to try and turn back on this. Are they going to try and turn back on this? Yes, Majoke is going to actually drop Rock Lee down, so they're just trying to further capitalize on this. EXdee have lost 2 and potentially under threat to lose their mid tower now, as all 4 of the 3 heroes that can potentially push out here, 4 heroes. Of course, Tinker is going to go down towards bottom. May be able to give a little bit of extra pressure into this mid tower. TKC invisible.
EXdee's trying to take a fight here.
They are trying to take it. Looks like Cloud is ready to go in with the ulti. Big TPs coming in from Hunter as well. And good use of the cogs there just to force TKC from running up to that high ground. So yeah, that worked out for Goon. They forced out big rotations for EXdee. Everyone committed back towards middle. Allows a little bit of free farming space out towards bottom lane if they need that. Tinker's out there, of course, just capitalizing on what he can.
Yeah. That's the one joy about Tinker.
Just showing Prophecy how my my iPhone seems to pick up something in Dota as Hey Siri, because right now is just
phone's offering us advice.
Ashley
Probably knows more about Dota than us.
Ashley Chetty says he doesn't know what's happening right now. Well, right now we're kind of in the mid stage of the game.
It's one of those stages where both teams are trying to make things happen, but not going to see a. Oh, never mind. Well, there we go.
Oh, big LT coming out from Juggernaut. Catches one, trying to get a second. A nice stun once again from Reaper, combined with the Chain Frost coming out from Lich. And things are looking very, very good here for Goon Squad. A good Fisher may save Hunter, but is not going to. Now, Rockley on the run, going to have to use his Blink Stick to get out of here. 3 angry Goon Squad members on his tail, but not chasing him just yet. So he's going to get out. But a good fight for Goon Squad. 3 heroes from EXdee falling. And of those heroes, one of them being the Faceless Void, and the other being the Necro.
Yeah. So basically, what's happening at the moment is that we're at the one weird stage of the game where neither team can really do a whole lot of anything.
Have we lost the screen?
It feels like it. But so basically, what happens is neither team is strong enough to take a 5-on-5 engagement or confident enough.
Oh,
Rockley comes in
ulti.
and he's going to blow up Blue Monkey. They're actually going to catch out Game Reaper as well, so Rockley could be going down here. But the
Game
assistance
Reaper
from Fury
super tanky.
Yeah, Game Reaper is very, very tanky. He's trying to get himself out of trouble now, but he should be going down either way. Done his job. A great stun comes out there from Fury, and he's going to get a little bit of damage. Does Game Reaper have enough to get out? He's going to pop the cogs once again. That should be the end
a nice
of it.
proc coming out from Fury right at the end.
And in the back lines, though, it looks as though Cloud has finished off Phoenix. That is a huge kill.
Massive kill, because once that Tinker's down, that means their split push is a little bit.
Most of the damage is actually gone
troubled.
at that point. Yeah. So looking great here. EXdee is going to turn things around with a split fight. They will be working on the mid lane tower now. You can see with only 2 heroes left alive, Goon Squad is not really keen on getting involved in any sort of confrontation with EXdee.
Pushing a couple of objectives now. We talked about those earlier on. Once again, they've now just pushed that tier 1 tower middle, getting their way a little bit closer to trying to get things done.
Fury's hanging out fairly aggressive here. He's very, very far away from any friends, but just hang around near to drop a little bit, to drop a ward, make certain that he can kill the next creep wave. It just keeps the lanes pushed, because basically what happens is, the closer to your base the opponents are, easier it is to lose a fight. And Blue Monkey, well, he's going to lose that fight in a hurry.
That was so quickly. I mean, TKC stunned him, got the Dragon Slave off, used the ulti as well, but a big hook coming in from Game Reaper, and now just going to use his what is that thing called again? Blade Mail. He uses Blade Mail, which returns all the damage that TKC does back on him. Manages to drop TKC down as well. So I think what's good for Goon Squad right now is that they keep capitalizing on potential kills that they've lost, and they're getting back in there. But unfortunately for them, if they allow the space to EXdee, that I think that there's gonna be a little bit of trouble for them, even though they've got that big 10 hero kill gap right now. I think that, as you mentioned, the lineup side from EXdee starts to get a little bit scary. But the Earthshaker coming in, starting things off. You've got the ability to just drop the big Dome of Death, also known as Chronosphere. I knew it's Chronosphere. Dome of Death.
Yeah, I'll say this much about a Goon Squad is that you can clearly see I think the inexperience in Goon Squad is they know that they need to take a fight, but they don't know how to take it. That's the problem. Is that EXdee, as soon as there's a gap, they seem to jump in. Sometimes they're over eager to do it, but both at this point, like you could clearly see that as soon as EXdee got the fight, that split fight, they took the kills and then immediately started pushing down the mid lane. Whereas when Goon Squad is taking fights, they either do nothing with the fight, or they don't or they don't attempt to make any use. That's the biggest worry. It's all very well, you know, stacking up kills and all the rest, but at some point you actually need to destroy or take objectives. And if you're not taking any objectives, you're not going to get any closer to winning the game. So yeah, you can get
as
tons
many
of
kills as you want, but if you're not capitalizing on it and getting actual game objectives done,
like I mean,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can see that's why I said earlier, kills are very, very deceptive, right? So it's like it shows 10k
difference, but there's a gold lead to the team that has less kills because they're capitalizing on their farm as well as getting the building kills that they need to get.
Exactly. Like I said, I mean, we said 1,000 gold is nothing at this stage. That's not really a lead at all.
Correct.
But the
it's
problem
negligible.
Is it shows you the difference in how
kills don't matter, because theoretically with 10 kills more, if the gold damage or the gold difference was higher towards their side, then yes, the kills mattered. But right now, in terms of the net worth side, it doesn't.
Blue Monkey is going to get caught out once again, but it is going to be instantly.
It's almost the same sort of situation. Correct. Game Reaper.
TKC might get out of trouble here.
TK is going to just hoof it out. He's trying to get out of there, but Tinker hot on his tails. He does have 10 seconds. Going to try and pick up the regen, get a little bit of HP back. That could have saved him right now, but look at that big chrono coming in. Rockley on the outskirts, going to get caught out by it as well. Going to stun up the Lich. Going to try and time it up with the Fissure, I'm sure. But Majoke coming in right now. Game Reaper going to turn around. DKC trying to help out Rock Lee right now. As just look how tanky they are. They bait in that Lich LT, and it's going to finish off too. Big LT coming out from the Lich right now. As Cougar, I keep saying that, EXdee on a bit of a back foot right now.
Yeah, TKC actually got a hell of a lot more out of than he expected. He got the early kill to start off the fight, and they've actually gotten the Tinker in backplay as well. So this is a huge win for them, given that they've only traded off one of their, the offlaner and the single support. They might get a little bit more here. Are they going to be able to catch anything? Game Reaper will probably be the one.
Game Reaper's in a little bit of trouble, but has managed to hook to a neutral creep. Really well played there to just get into that position. Of course, you can't just hook to trees like Timbersaw. You need to make sure you hit something, and he managed to hit a neutral creep. So, yeah, just another one of those skills. This is the Noob stream, guys. Pick up little things like that. Do it in a Dota game. People will be absolutely mind blown.
That is pretty much true. Smallest things can blow people's minds.
It is. What?
No.
Are you saying that I was mind blown, so I've got a small mind?
No. Okay. I'm saying if you do that in game, people are like, wow.
I don't know if that was like sarcastic wow. I'd be like, wow, dude. Wow. Disgusting. What?
No, that's usually they're going to be swearing at you.
Okay.
Because you're too good for them.
Okay, that's true.
So,
MMR noob.
Yeah. Well, I mean, TKC there, I think, started off a wonderful chain of events, gets a kill on the bottom, somehow gets himself out of trouble. That's almost like robbing the gods and getting out without any sort of repercussions.
And getting a bonus as well on the way out.
Farmer Houdini. He might actually pick himself up another one here.
Yeah, TKC just waiting for Tinker to come in. Not sure if he's 100% shown up there, but the smoke gang rotation coming out from Goon. 4 men towards middle, rotating out towards bottom. Tinker.
And there must be something up here. Do they make the play onto the courier?
It looks like they are.
That's not worth.
That's definitely not worth. They've just committed a smoke gang to one courier, and yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Game Reaper with another massive just hook shot. Gonna pick up the cogs as well. Gonna allow Cloud to jump out of that. However, a joke hot on his tails, and that Timber just making work happen. Big rotations. Rock Lee has dropped down. Phoenix, the Lich LT almost going to take down Juggernaut. The creep going to be enough to do so. And now Lena going absolutely ham, trying to get some work done. But unfortunately, it's a 1-for-1 trade.
Going to try and get it done. Well, he's got up the Chronosphere. It's a little bit late and only on one hero, but it is going to lock down the most potent damage dealer left. Down will go Blue Monkey as well as Majoke. That's his killing spree ended.
Fantastic turn actually coming out from Cougar there. Unfortunately, Goon Squad committed towards the courier, gave away their position. TKC going to make that 4. The only player alive going to be, of course, the Clockwork, and he's back in base. So this potentially giving up the bottom tier 2 tower, allowing
EXdee sponsored by Cougar Gaming.
Okay, EXdee sponsored by Cougar Gaming. That's why I'm so confused. And I keep seeing Cougar Gaming in the chats just like all the time.
Yeah, that is. But like I said, EXdee sponsored by Cougar Gaming. So
what a great brand to be sponsored by.
I mean, I haven't had much experience with Cougar products. You say
if you like RGB stuff,
Well, then
keyboard
it's
looks
clearly
cool.
right up your alley since
Oh.
everything in this house seems to be RGB.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. What do you think of my my RGB
What?
setup?
Excessive.
Ex-
It's excessive.
You don't need your RAM to glow. Is that what you're telling me?
No, I
you
mean,
do.
like I can deal with the RAM. It's just I'm not certain about that toilet seat that was going.
Okay, that's true. I should maybe take that back because the warmer function has stopped working. So getting back to the Dota game, of course, that turn of events saw a massive gold lead starting to develop
Oh,
for
and they've
Cougar.
Uh,
caught up Majoke. Do you have any sort of
EXdee.
follow-up? And no, it's not going to happen. Game Reaper has been massively on point with his initiation
Dude,
in
Game
these
Reaper
fights.
for me this game so far has really landed some massive...
He might actually be the MVP of the game. Like,
If he works a little bit harder, he might win it from us.
very well.
He might.
There's,
Look at this. There's a
Hunter.
big chain of events. Hunter gets out just in time. Is he going to X?
He's going to get out, but they are going to trade Fury. TKC's coming now. He doesn't have enough damage actually to finish off the hero. He's going to actually force to Shadow Blade, get himself out of trouble there. But I mean, Fury for that kind of an engagement, I don't think that what will be too happy with that.
No, I think it's sort of at that stage of the game where it's starting to look a little bit scrappy. You know, like that scrappy fight. Everybody kind of want to get their sort of
The
gloves
problem is
off.
the scrappy fights are better for Egg. And if they keep
100%.
getting guys out, like, because what happens is, like, I mean, at this point, guys, it looks like, yeah, sure, you're giving up kills. The problem is that the kills are not going on the important heroes.
It's not the core kill.
Yeah, you're not killing TKC, so he continues to farm, and he's doing a lot more damage than someone like...
I mean, his attack
Jagira.
speed right now is absolutely filthy. He's just racking it up.
Yeah, so you can see, like, so Luna has an ability called the Fiery Soul, so every spell she casts gives her a bonus to the attack damage as well as movement speed. And she becomes a massive nightmare to deal with. And the thing is, like, if you're not killing her supports the whole time, she just keeps stacking damage. And if she attacks more often and moves quicker, she becomes much, much more difficult to get rid of in a fight.
100%. And you can see right now, like you said, once you've sort of cleaned out the enemy team, it allows you to just spend some time in their jungle, getting a little bit of extra gold. It looks like Blue Monkey, the jugger, is going to be going for this Roshan. EXdee does know what's up. Are we going to see a massive Rock Lee jump in an initiation? They are firing out some things to just try and get some intelligence. They may just let this one fall, and they do. And Hunter's actually going to be in the wrong position for this. Luckily, Jakira up top to just throw down the ice path. Not going to catch anyone out from it though, as they kind of just regather together and start to suss out where they want to go in this mid position. No one really jumps in, no one really initiates it. And so it kind of feels like to me just kind of playing a little bit of a bait role right now.
Does feel like it, yes. As
once again smashing the predictions here.
Oh, fantastic chrono on the back line.
Chrono.
3 guys in the wall, and
Oh.
unfortunately TKC's instantly going to pop the Aegis. Now they're going to focus on Majoke. Majoke goes down. They've already lost Bassi as well. It is a complete and utter shutout. 2 for 2 at this point, and there's not a whole lot of anything that the guys from Goon Squad can do. They're going to try and run.
Timbersaw in a little bit of trouble. He's been caught out. Going to be stopped, and TKC with that attack speed also just going to go ham, combined up against or combined with, should I say, his teammates up close. They really just making things work out here. 3 for 2 with 60 seconds
it's the 2
cooldown
supports.
on
And
so
that's
2
probably-
supports and 60 seconds still on Tinker. They are looking in a little bit of trouble right now, as it's allowed EXdee to start to get towards that high ground position.
Yeah, so I mean at this stage it looks like EXdee is going to try and just farm up the last couple of towers. They got 1 left. They'll go from there. Another fight's gone through. Majoke is going to get caught out and just stunned into death there. It is going to be shared amongst 3 players, so not as much money could be going to 1 player, but for that they are going to get another chance to attack a tower here. We still have Tinker. He's still in the grave. They've got nothing else at this point.
Was Majoke's a dieback?
I don't know if it was a dieback. I believe he
Did he
has
respawn?
bloodstone.
Oh, he's got a bloodstone. So he had a shorter time. And this is EXdee just doing EXdee things right now, getting those objectives that we talked about. You saw the kill difference was different. They've caught right up.
Still behind in kills.
Yeah,
15k.
I mean,
And that's just the problem, is that kills
don't really matter unless they Game Reaper once again landing a disgusting hook on Hunter and who's playing Jakiro?
Fury.
Hunter and Fury, the brothers.
Yeah.
So Hanson Fury just been eating up these clockwork hooks for now. Just a
Feels
cheeky
like-
shout out to everyone watching the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Mega8. This is the noob friendly stream. And we're casting EXdee vs Goon Squad. We did have a little bit of energy versus damage control earlier with energy.
TKC, he's on a hunt. He's going to
Oh!
get himself a kill.
TKC, this man, I said before,
It's
but
filthy.
it's disgusting.
It's
I'm giving him my CS:GO terms. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
TKC is disgusting. Such talent from such a young man. I enjoy watching him play Dota. I think I could watch him all the time.
Yeah, it does feel like got an endless bag of tricks. Blue Monkey is going to return a kill. That'll be Fury going down once again, but I mean, we've repeated it. It's going to be ad nauseum at this point, but you're not getting kills on heroes that actually matter at this point.
So it doesn't really, they're not phased at all. So guys, if you're enjoying what we're doing, don't forget to smash that like button on the stream. Share it with your friends. Share it on social media. It's been a super good day. We've had Beetle and Penguin and Sargon here the whole day, providing all the stuff and things that we need. I've had a really great afternoon just casting some Dota. So, I mean, coming into game 2 here, little recap done for the viewers as well. It's been a really good day.
It has been. I mean, if you guys enjoy it, please do give us a likes and just let us know, because we're more than happy to do it again. Maybe not a full day of casting, but certainly one a week. I don't think.
Yeah, we could
we'd be
definitely
too-
do some stuff, and I wanna get back into doing a little bit more Dota stuff. I've enjoyed learning some things, and I think doing a little bit more of this will improve my Dota game because I've learned things.
Yeah. So, like I said, guys, if you guys are enjoying it, just let us know, and we'll be happy to continue. But for the moment, it is TKC and friends leading the charge.
TKC and Co. I think that's correct. I mean,
He has. I think he's been the best player on his team, certainly in this game. But I'd say MVP for the whole game.
Rock League
this young man.
Pudge in the previous game was also pretty fun to watch. I'm pretty sure that was picked for the stream, just for the stream.
Yeah, well, Game Reaper, do we need to say it? He's going to start it off once again. Doesn't get the cogs off that time, so TKC is able to get himself out of trouble. He will get himself to safety, but it really does feel like Game Reaper has consistently set his team up.
That almost felt like he landed that hook shots and didn't even expect to land the hook shots. So didn't even drop the cogs. Was like kind of that. Oh, I landed it.
Well, we've got another Chronosphere. It's going to land onto just Majoke, but that should set up a kill here, as he's going to take tons of damage. Do they get him out of trouble? No, they don't. They're going to actually force off him into trouble there. He's not going to get himself
And
out.
Game
Reaper
Reaper
tries to do whatever he can. Pops the cogs. Stunned up, unfortunately. He's going to pay. It's going to pay with his life at the very least. Phoenix is now the next one on the chopping block. He's able to get himself out of trouble. We have an
Hunter
Omni Slash coming through. Blue Monkey doing as much as he can. Hunter is the last one alive. The stun comes through. Rock Lee arrives, and that should be the end of the Juggernaut. Out comes the final strike there, and that'll be Blue Monkey in the grave.
This is starting to look very, very bad for Goon Squad as EXdee just starts to clean up the back lines. They're going to push this tier 2 up top as well. Very, very big team fight. Of course, Tinker, the only man alive right now, and this has allowed EXdee to just push this high ground. The buyback coming out from Juggernaut, so they've forced this. They need to get back in here, and look at this. Hunter playing very, very aggressively up. Uses his what is that thing called
Death
again?
Pulse.
Death Pulse? No, what is the Shivas?
Oh,
Shivas.
Death Shroud. Oh no, yeah, the Shiva's
The
God.
Shivas
Sorry.
God, yeah,
I
he
was
uses the
confused there
Shivas
for a
just to
second.
slow them down, and gonna get that tower objective as well. So that allows them to now get control of those mid racks, top racks if they
Top
want
racks.
to.
Well, okay, so basically what happens, guys, is you cannot damage anything behind something else. No tower can be no tier 2 can be destroyed, or its tier 1 has been destroyed. So you have to destroy that building. Then you can destroy that building. Then you can destroy what you saw go down was the tier 3. You then open up their barracks before you can damage the ancient. You have to kill these 2 buildings. So it is possible to, it is possible to fight behind them, but you cannot destroy those buildings until the building in front of it has been
Correct. So
removed.
it's sort of like stages of progression. You
Yeah.
have to make sure you've taken out those before you attack there. But once you've got control it or damaged any tower within the base, you can then start going to town and working on any of the other towers as well. So it's super important to get that high ground. Super important to get those buildings destroyed so that you can just make your life towards ending the game a little bit easier. Big crits coming out from DKC there as well,
He's
especially
starting
with
to hit like a train. Right?
especially those that attack speed. I mean, look at him just melting through on these racks. He doesn't need his team support, but they're going to be there anyway, trying to just get the ranged barracks has now been destroyed. So EXdee just having a phenomenal time.
Cloud It's a complete whiff, doesn't land anything inside the chrono. Out comes the Clockwork again. He's got the cogs, he's trying to break up this fight. The Lich ulti's flying through as well. It's not really hitting on anything important at the moment, as right now they've actually gotten Hunter out of trouble. They're going to turn around instantly. Down goes the Timbersaw. We've now got TKC. He's trying to help out the back lines. Game Reaper once again doing everything in his power.
The way that EXdee is just focusing down on kills that they need to, they get split up, but they regain together or regather up and start focusing down who they need to get. And right now, it's starting to look very, very bad for Goon Squad. Buybacks on Timbersaw this time, as they're just trying to fight and stay in this. They need this game to force out a game 3. And right now, big laser coming out from Tinker on the back lines. Picks up a double kill on Cloud and Fury. However, TKC is trying to answer back as Fury drops the Timber after the buyback. So that's definitely a dieback.
Yeah, so, I mean, at the moment, it does look as though it's pretty much, well, I wouldn't say the end of the game yet, but Goon Squad are on their last legs.
I thought I meant to say it's pretty much the end of the game, and you're meant to go,
well,
no, G-Max, it's not.
28k lead, 2 racks is down. I think it's really, really hard for Goon Squad. It's not beyond
yeah, 100%.
reason, but it's very, very difficult at this stage to see them go down. They often do say that losing 1 set of barracks is not the end of the world. Losing 2 is a significant loss, and losing 3, well, when you lose 3 guys, you get what's called mega creeps. And
yeah.
Those things are not fun in any way.
You basically
shape,
hope that if you've lost all your racks, that you actually have like a pocket Medusa that's farmed up so hard that you don't really mind, and you can turn and burn and go through. So right now it's down to, it would be EXdee's game to lose at this point,
yeah.
Especially the lead that they have. Game of Throws has happened before. I've been in those pub games that maybe the one that's
everyone's been in those games.
Correct.
Where you're just like, how are we losing racks up?
And you can see here that they don't. Goon Squad doesn't have another game to play with. You know, if it was the first game at this stage, you might find a team calling GG. They sort of out of their depth. However, at this stage, you've got 1 game down. This is the last one that you can try to force out a game 3.
Yeah.
And you're gonna fight until the end, and I appreciate that in a team.
Yeah, no, like you will see a lot of teams, even in like game 1s, that they'll like basically hang on forever.
I know Chinese teams kind of tend to end things rather early in game 1 if they're just getting smashed. They just call it easy and
yeah,
and
I mean,
let's go.
It's a different philosophy. There's a lot of teams that'll actually like spend the last 5 minutes, maybe not necessarily trying very hard to win or trying to defend, but just to have that discussion. So you spend those last 5 minutes, okay, what was our problems this game? And you know, like, and they'll have that like discussion, because it's
just
a
reset, it's a mental reset. Yeah.
And that's the thing. So it's not the end of the world here. I mean,
TKC's damage is just disgusting. Like,
and the thing is, like, he could actually get even stronger. That's the worst part of it.
But just look at the way he's melting. As we are missing some action here. We're sorry about that, but luckily everyone's got a bit of HP, so we can go through this. Hunter gonna drop down early on. However, his teammates coming back in. Timber's down very, very low. A big slam coming in. Turn and burn for TKC. He just puts Blue Monkey to bed using the ultimate. Not the Finger of Death. It's the lightning strike.
Laguna Blade.
Laguna Blade, not lightning strike. It looks like a lightning strike.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Lena's actually based on an anime character called Slayers. So here we go. Majoke is going to be the next target. Does she have enough to deal with him? She pops the BKB. There's 2 heroes in the area for her to fight. Game Reaper is invisible though, so she can't see him. Trapped in the cogs.
TKC's in trouble here as Phoenix just comes in with another massive laser. Massive this time, not because of 2 kills, but because it takes TKC out. And that's Necro and Lena out of the running. And I feel like EXdee doesn't have the manpower to just stand around and hang out here, so it's going to be up to the rest of these players to just try and make rotation. Tinker going to pick up a lonely Fury running through the forest, and Jakiro joins the rest of his team. When I say the rest of his team, joins Necro and Lena in the respawn queue. Yeah,
that is a very, very big win there for Goon Squad. Unfortunately, it's a little bit too late. I do think I mean, if they can get a couple more of those kind of fights, they might have the slimmest of chances. But I don't see EXdee making another mistake.
Curse, I'm calling it right now.
TKC.
You're getting a little bit of my muddle mouth.
Clearly. TKC for EXdee.
That was almost a wrap. You should do that one again.
Let's not.
TKC from EXdee. TKC
well,
from
we
EXdee.
could have party. Oh, it's going to be a party in the pit, the Richard pit. So this is a young man that is well versed in people breaking into his house, beating him up, and then leaving after stealing his only toy. This time they're actually going to steal his food as well. So cheese, guys, drops on the second time that you kill Rosh. What happens there is the cheese, it gives you a huge amount of
Oh, it gives you the
gold.
ability to also just go full HP, right?
Basically what it is, when you consume the cheese,
Okay.
you gain, I believe it's 3,000, let me check. Destroyed. No, they're destroyed.
Did they destroy the cheese?
So
No cheese
it
for
gives
anybody?
you, as far as I can remember, I think it's 3,000 HP and 2,000
Yo.
mana. So it's almost a full heal.
Yeah, for most heroes.
Yeah, so it's almost a second life, but unlike the Aegis where you can, you die and then you respawn.
This one you actually have to activate, so if you forget to click, sorry for you, bro.
Yeah, so just another thing to note about the Aegis guys is the Aegis does have a time limit, so you can't just keep stacking them and have like 3...
5 Aegises and
I
run
think
it,
it only lasts about 5 minutes, so you have to be very, very careful.
It basically reclaims itself so that Roshan can respawn with it for the next team fight.
Yeah.
If you think of it that way, only one can exist at
Yes.
any time.
Islander.
Yes.
There can be only one.
Yes, there can only be one.
Yeah. Bad Queen music.
Yes.
No, not bad Queen music.
Say bad Queen music.
That's sort of impossible.
Did you see
Like bad and
Beatles,
Queen in
Did
the
you
same...
see Beatles' eyebrows raise up as he was just like, "What have I let happen to the stream?"
That is
They're
pretty much true.
insulting
Beetle,
Queen.
Beetle's got his disgusted face going.
He does have his disgusted face going. I would change to his disgusted face, but it may scare younger viewers. The judgment go. Penguin's also giving you the judgment face. For those that can't see them, that's unlucky for you guys who are getting the eyebrows now as well. We do have a game of pause the second. So
It looks
Tinker,
actually, I think it was indeed our overlord that left us. 001 decided to quit the game for some unknown. That is why the players have paused. So we've actually had more pauses for the casters.
we
this
haven't.
Game.
We didn't have Tinker.
Oh.
Beatles,
No. Beetle
Do you not
001.
blame me for things
Beetle-
I'm
Beetle-
not responsible for?
Beetle has reconnected to the
Yes.
game.
Yes, but remember,
Yeah.
Tinker disconnected after him. So we
Uh,
paused for Beetle,
Okay.
and
In professional streams, I don't think they have team chats.
no, they don't.
So hopefully,
That's usually because it gets very un-PC very
correct.
very quickly.
Hopefully, everybody can just be nice in the team chats. Right now, Goon Squad and EXdee doing absolutely phenomenally to just represent the beauty of South African players and just keeping things loving with hearts and pauses for drops and no hate and anger. So I think we couldn't have asked for a better team chat to show one unprofessional state of mind in setting it up with the team chats enabled.
Yep, pretty much.
Blame Gmax. That's 100% my fault.
I don't know, did we create the lobby? But either way, it is going to be the last defense.
Oh, for once, Game Reaper misses one.
Indeed it does.
Have we just seen something game changing? This could be it.
Well, I mean, it certainly is surprising. Very, very surprising that Game Reaper misses hook there.
Yeah, he's been so on point. He's getting my MVP points, even if they lose the game.
Yeah.
Is that possible? Can I
That
give
is
it to
possible.
Okay,
That
okay,
is
just double
possible. I mean,
checking.
given the amount of work he's done to get his team that amount of space, they are just picking up creep waves at the moment. So that is the one thing, guys, with the barracks is that, like, despite the barracks going down, creeps will continue to stream in.
Correct,
That
and your
is
creeps are
why-
your creeps stronger in those
They
lanes?
are
Correct.
indeed.
So your creeps are stronger, so inevitably they'll push in faster. So you have to be on the defensive when you lose a rack. So it's kind of incentive
yeah.
to keep your rack. So look at those creeps going ham up top. No heroes to help them out. They're just doing their own thing. And down bottom, this is where EXdee is trying to just make the final approach. They want to get the third racks here, get those mega creeps that we talked about earlier on. And if everything looks
There we
like
go.
just a
Clark
magic show,
he's actually going to catch up Phoenix, and that's the perfect catch with that Chronosphere. That is the hero that's most able to defend this. But the back lines have already been utterly destroyed. Down goes Majoke. Bassi is next on the list. Tinker's trying to run himself into trouble. He's going to get
EXdee is
hunted
going
by,
ham. TKC has dropped down.
Yeah,
The
and that is
third
that
hero.
good game is called.
GG being called out, and unfortunately, when losing that fight, that's where you are going to you're gonna have to call GG because they're gonna just push in.
Yeah, the problem is they don't have any buybacks either.
EXdee Gaming have 3 Shadow Blades on their heroes. The power of Invis is undisputed.
It is
Go
disputed.
buy.
It is disputed. It's not that good, but
No, it isn't.
don't go buy that item in your pubs.
Buy it in
please.
your pubs. Apparently, it wins games.
You're gonna get a support buying that item in your next pub, and you're gonna be like, "Why are you doing this?" And they're gonna be like, "Sargon told me to."
I play the support that buys that game in pubs. So I'm not sure. We are back. We are back on the stream. I've got the beautiful Beetle taking back control.
It's the nicest thing you've said all day to me.
It's not. I say nice things all the time.
You must not say them to me then. You must be getting confused. So that's it. That's a day of Dota. 2-0 in favor of EXdee Gaming over Goon Squad in that last game. What are your final thoughts? What is the official wrap up from the casters?
I think that Game Reaper should play Clockwork more. He had amazing hook shots. A lot of initiation for his team. I think Goon Squad did really well in that second game to kind of take the fight correct. I think they dabbled a little bit too long. I think that there was objectives that they missed. And I think that just allowed EXdee to just kind of get back over that sort of interim period that they're a little bit unstable. TKC, that guy blows my mind. Like I've said, you can call me FanMax, you can call me what you want. He had some phenomenal games. Rockley had a decent,
not as impactful I think as game one, but
yeah, decent
all round
decent shaker, but definitely not his Pudge. I like to see more Pudge on Rockley.
Yeah, like I said, I think TKC was more of like a team effort. Like EXdee had a lot of problems, but they always had it in hand. TKC didn't really die a ton. Hunter was caught in some odd positions, didn't die a whole lot because he was so tanky.
Fury only died because of Game Reaper's hooks, 100%. So I think if that Game Reaper guy wasn't there, I think Fury would have had a little bit of a less
He'd be less frustrated.
Death game, but yeah. I think very well played overall.
Very well played.
I mean, Goon Squad did definitely look much better in the second game. They changed things up, and in particular, we noticed them trying to shut down the TKC Lina at mid lane in the beginning of the game. Why was that such a big focus for them in the early game?
Probably because they knew that the Lina is the highest, like the primary form of damage on the team. Like Hunter's Necrophos is going to do a ton of damage, but he tends to take a lot longer in fights to deal with it. Whereas TKC, I mean, you could see that at the end, like he basically stuns, hits you with fire, like,
by the time like
fire dragon, and then basically lasers you, and you're almost dead at that point.
And then you've got 3 crit attacks in the air at one time because the attack speed's so fast.
Yeah, so it had more to do with they knew
they wanted to slow him down. Yeah.
They knew that they had to keep him off like the number 1 position for as long as possible.
And speaking of Clockwork, you guys were unofficially awarding him the MVP title before the game was even over. But I mean, he obviously did help a huge amount in the team fights.
Yeah, I think.
And his hook shots were all on point. I mean, how did it help Green Squad? How does that sort of initiation or even counter initiation in some fights help a team like, or in a composition like Green Squad?
The thing with Clockwork is that his cogs especially is very much like an area denial. It's like an extremely difficult area to control as his enemies. So you can't really blink over them, and you don't want to blink over them because usually only 1 or 2 of your heroes will have it. So you split up your team. But because he's starting the fights, it immediately means Goon Squad can jump and kill one of your heroes. You saw a couple of times TKC gets caught in the cogs and he can't do anything at that point.
Especially with that blade mail that he combines it up with, because once you're there, you're like, okay, cool, let me just hit this guy, but he's already blade mailed up, and by the time you've done that, you've taken away most of your HP. Supports there, and bam, massive opening created. And
the problem is the supports had no real way of helping anybody caught in the cogs. So by Game Reaper constantly starting fights for his team on their terms, it made EXdee always basically fighting from they didn't have the initiative going into fights, and it made it very, very difficult for them to turn things around at times.
And I mean, we saw in the beginning of the game, it was almost heavily favored in terms of Goon Squad. I mean, the gold lead was almost always still in favor of EXdee, but kills much higher for Goon Squad. So how does that sort of swing work? How do we find the comeback of those teams, happening so quickly? One fight or 2 fights, and they're right back in it.
I think where it comes from, I mean, if you look at Fury, he died 14 times. So a lot of those kills that they're getting aren't high impact heroes, so they don't have a lot of bounty reward for getting. So if they were 36 kills on your main Necro and TKC, for example, they would have had a higher gold lead, but they got kills on low impact heroes that didn't have high bounty for them. So although they got the kills, they weren't getting rewarded for them.
Yeah, think of it in terms of like the Old West. You had you have a guy who's got $100 bounty, and you have a guy who's got like $1,000 bounty. If you kill the guy who's got $100 bounty 5 times and bring in his head, you're going to get $500. But the guy who's got 1,000 is still worth more, and that's just the problem. Is that they killed Fury a ton of times, but they never really got enough kills on TKC. They never really got enough kills on Hunter.
He died 6 times.
And that's
as
just the
well.
problem, is that they're getting kills on heroes that are not giving them as much as the big ticket items.
So now you get 2-0'd, you Goon Squad, you walk away from this game. I mean, can they take anything away from it? Can they be proud of things that they did in that last game? What
I
are
think
the
for
positive
sure.
takeaways
They came into that second draft without banning up what's very popular in a meta against a team that plays against, you know, some of the top level teams. So I think coming into that and confidently adapting their gameplay to even get to that mid game control that they had. Yes, they sort of fell off the end towards it. You know, after a while they fell off, but ultimately. They did really well to adapt and come up against almost a generic strat from the sounds of it, and from that I think they played really well, and they isolated TKC well in the beginning. They may have let him pick up a little bit of speed. Ina's one of those heroes that inherently is pretty good at farming. Even if you nail them early on in the game, they can still clear waves and do stuff with their abilities. So I think Goon played really well. I think Game Reaper, like I said earlier, had a really phenomenal game. Great entries and created space for the team. The Lich pick for me, something that didn't really
It was
pay off
okay
a
in the
lot.
beginning. Like I think their early game was good. What they really need to work on is their mid game decision. Like they need to be more decisive. Like you saw them get kills, but they never really wanted to go and push a tower. And that's the thing. It's about
objectives that we talked about earlier.
It's about getting a kill and then immediately deciding what you're going to do. So, okay, we get the kill. Are we taking control of the jungle? Are we going to push the tower? Are we going to go for Rosh? Those kind of decisions. It just felt like Goon Squad. They got the kills, but they weren't certain what to do.
Penguin ZA, I want you to tell me what your best hat of the entire day was.
The entire day?
Yeah.
Man, that's actually quite tough because there was some really cool ones, and there was this cute courier that Good Squad had at a stage as well. I got quite distracted looking at that and zooming in and following it around.
That was my shark face. What cute courier and where do I buy it? Link it to me.
I think it was a butterfly, or was it that? It was that little fox thing. It was one of the two that I saw.
Yeah, it was a little fox thing.
But
Yeah,
that's the Vici
that
gaming
was
courier.
So you
cute.
you weren't super happy at the end there where it was killed off. Huh?
Yeah, look. There's a lot of times where I felt that calling the SPCA was needed there, getting off the little fox and everything. But honestly, I think it must have been the Monkey King that we saw early on in the day, no, not the Monkey King, the Bounty Hunter. Early on.
The bounty hunter that looked like the Bloodseeker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Was that
him.
the
Yeah, pretty much.
that was
pretty
the
much.
ACG bounty hunter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Official hats consultant Penguin ZA, ACG's bounty hunter, wins the day. It's more important than the Dota really, but we have seen some reasonably good Dota today. We have seen some great Dota today. The first matchup, Ian taking down DC 2-0, and in the second, EXdee beating out Goon Squad 2-0. And we do have news from one of the other streams, BVD unsurprisingly taking down a Clan in Progress 2-0 as well. So it's been a day of 2-0s by the looks of it.
Does look
And
like
the
it.
APG Goliath Squad game still going on, and that one is 1-0 at the moment to APG. So the APG Goliath Squad game going. And that's it. That's the day. That is a day of Dota. Sargon, any last thoughts from you?
I can say 1.73 meters is not short.
It is pretty. It is pretty short from up at 1.8
It is.
meters. Just saying.
Yeah.
Well, that's from all the
Thank you
people
very
that are
much.
1.8 meters. Just saying. I'm small.
Well,
Look
I
at
mean-
us. Look how small we are on camera. Can you see?
Yeah. I mean, what? I think Beetle's 1.8. I know Penguin's about 50 meters taller than 1.8.
It's sort of the average.
Penguin, what you're measuring there, I don't think is height.
Yeah, we said noob friendly, not family friendly.
G-Max Prophecy, thanks so much for taking us through the action for the entire day.
It's-
G-Max, I think you did pretty well for your first go. I think this is you can take your hat, or we'll take our hats off to you.
Thank you. I'm glad that I got to spend some time with such cool people, and I'm keen to definitely do something like this again if we ever get the
Yeah, so-
opportunity.
Right.
If the stream did enjoy it, please let us know. Hit the like button or subscribe to the channel. I see we do have grown the subscriber channel today, so that's a positive. But yeah, we'll maybe see you next week if we have a good enough reaction to our noob friendly casting and noob casting.
Yes.
Big shout out to Mega8, I guess, as well. Huh?
From Penguin ZA, from Sargon ZA, from ZAG Maxon, from Prophecy. You can find us all on Twitter and everything that you need to know. A big shout out to Mega8 for running the tournament and all the players that played today. We had fun watching you. We had fun making an attempt at casting, and we will maybe see you next week for another one. See you later.
Cheers, guys.
Ciao.
Let's just change this image quick. Which one is it? That one. There we go.
Set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. With crimson secrets and forbidden bliss, can't stay still, don't stop that thrill. My bones crave your skin, temptation within, mistakes ignite the silence. Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.